He wants to fuck your wife.
It's so disrespectful. Holy shit. So, turns out, me and her had a thing years ago. We broke up for different reasons.
We've been best
we
friends
broke up because she wants kids, I don't want kids.
Well, you know what that means, though.
All right, now that Fluff has a mouthful of food, welcome back to week 4.
Week 4, fourth episode.
Fourth episode.
Kingz After Dark.
Kingz After Dark.
It's that time again.
It be that time. We're going to get started with one. We're going to jump right into it. Fun fact for you guys. Y'all know the like super famous like quintessential circus theme?
When you say thing, you mean the song?
The song, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Got repopularized by Madagascar 3 when they did the Circus Afro shit.
Yep.
Did you know that song was initially composed as a theme to play when gladiators entered the arena?
Yeah, you sent me that TikTok.
I did send you that TikTok. I forgot. I forgot I sent you that, and you end up watching them all last night, freezing in your fucking
the car.
I had to get it done sometime.
Yeah, then you proceeded to leave your keys in there, killing your battery.
Look, it's something that happens. Yes, yes, it is.
Fluffy.
Look, it's just ADHD things, okay?
Jesus.
Sometimes I forget really obvious shit a lot, often.
There's a reason we're starting fucking late. It's because you fucked up your gym plans. Oh well, that's life.
It's after dark.
It's after dark.
It do be after dark.
But yeah, that theme was initially composed as a entrance theme for gladiators.
Wow.
So that used to be epic then?
Yeah, the way it was composed, I guess. Like I've tried to find like epic orchestral versions of it.
Right.
Yeah, like if you got the backing and it's like full orchestra, I could see that they could make it epic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine that too, and I'm like,
because there's not a lot of like, you know, possibly
epic
like
trailer version or something like that.
Maybe I should like look that up.
Yeah, maybe.
Good job, bud. Yeah, no, maybe I need to figure out oh wait, I need to look
what's
this
the
up.
name of it exactly? What's the title of that song?
Enter the Gladiators, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
March
lying.
of the Gladiators.
March of the Gladiators, something like that.
For real?
Dead serious.
Wow.
Yeah, it was initially
No
composed,
way.
and then in like the 1800s, I think someone recomposed it. Basically, they just composed it for a big band to play, and that's where we got, and that's why we now know it as the circus theme that it is.
You are lying.
Dead serious.
There's no way.
Dead serious.
What? Entry of the Glad. That's wow. I did not know this.
Yeah.
This sounds more.
It sounds like the circus theme.
I mean,
It's not because there have been like cartoonified versions.
Oh,
like it's gotten kind of a little more bent towards goofy.
Right.
Just I think in context.
Yeah.
But it does sound kind of epic.
I can see the epicness of it. I think for me, thinking of Warriors and then having a very upbeat major key, like I think it is a lot of the context of which we know it from because we've only grown up with it as the circus theme, right?
Right. That's what it is for me. I cannot see past anything goofy.
Yeah, I learned about this maybe 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago or something like that. And I learned it from Gizmo. What are we doing, man?
He wants the pizza.
Is it still there?
He wants attention and the pizza.
All right, let me.
Is there
trying to
garlic on
avoid munching. Yeah.
Lunch away. It's fine. Only reason I told you to stop is so I can sync up the video.
There he is, right back over there.
Don't sensually look into the camera while you take a fucking bite.
I'm gonna give the people what they want.
No, you have to wait for our 10,000 subscribers before we can start the OnlyFans.
Yeah, people will pay for that.
Yeah, goddamn it, Fluff. Business
It's just
mind,
a
man.
tease. It's just a tease.
Business mind.
Just like
Put those
those
feet
dogs.
away!
Put them down!
Oh God!
Not for free.
Not for fucking free. They get the dog. They don't get anything else, all right?
Get your legs closed.
You fucking hussy.
The visceral reaction. No.
I was dead as I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? I literally thought about that as I was deciding not to put socks on. I was like,
should I keep my tootsies out? Nah, you're fine. You're fine. That's okay. It'll be a very funny story to tell about our early days.
before we're successful porn stars?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's wild, though. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I would have looked forever to try to... Well, people probably have it up on YouTube as, like, in parentheses, like, Circus.
Yeah, if you just look up Circus name, I'm sure you made it. Like,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be the hard bit.
But it would still blow my mind seeing, like, walk or entry of the gladiator next to that. Be like, what the...
What does this mean? Right? Yeah, no, it's just crazy. And I forget what I was saying before. Gizmo so rudely interrupted.
We're channeling our inner gladiators and medieval time, speech.
My name is Interruptus.
Yes.
I am Interruptus.
Kentonius. Formulus.
Romulus. Rubulus.
Blitzius.
Epicus.
Yes. Epicus.
Fluffius.
Formzius.
Flufficus.
Formziest.
Formsicus.
Formsicus. I'll form a kiss, baby.
Formsic. Yeah. That's gay stuff.
I know it's pretty cliche to do an "Am I the Asshole" on a podcast. But
To do a what?
Who gives a shit? It's also one of the things. "Am I the Asshole" from Reddit.
Okay.
And it's also one of the things I've always wanted to do for a long time. So this is going to be the start of when I do it. So I got one today. It is, am I the asshole for wanting... Am I the asshole... Because he did not format this.
I was like, classic Reddit sentence structure. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to read it wrong. Am I the asshole for wanting for breakup with my girlfriend after her ex's funeral? Am I the asshole for wanting to break up with my girlfriend after her ex's funeral? Advice needed. So, my girlfriend and I have been together for about 4 years. She used to be close friends with her ex. However, he tried to make a move on her while she and I were together, so she cut off their friendship. Fair. They knew each other for about 10 years. They were high school sweethearts and stayed together throughout college. They broke up because he did not want kids. He died recently, and my girlfriend was invited to the funeral. While I wasn't happy, so to speak, to see my girlfriend cry about this guy, I swallowed my emotions and offered my full support. She asked me to come with her. Here's where things get messy. She kept talking about how she wished they never broke up in the first place, and that she's never met someone who she loved as much as him. I didn't read this far into this. She made a speech about how she says that if things had been different... Okay. She made a speech about how she says that if things had been different, they'd be a happy family with children. That's kind of fucked up. I had to force myself not to say anything then. Now we're back home and she hasn't said anything about what she said. I'm so close to just leaving, but I just don't know if she only said that out of grief.
That's tough. I mean,
yeah,
it's okay.
Why did she want him there?
I mean, for emotional support.
Yeah, I want to hear what you got to say first.
Like, they've been friends, they've been friends for a long time.
Not just friends, they were high school sweethearts.
Right.
They dated through high school and college.
Right. So, I don't think it's wrong to go.
Neither do I.
And it's good that she invited the current boyfriend too, for sure. Like, you wouldn't, like, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why. I don't think I would feel too bad about, like, letting that happen.
As someone who doesn't like going to funerals, I guess no one really likes going to funerals, but as someone who, like, I kind of have, like, I've drawn my line in the sand for the funerals I'm still willing to go to. Like, there's very few of them I go to. Honestly, grandma and your dad were, like, the last two funerals I've been to because they were important. Like, him being there is the same reason I was at your dad's funeral and ultimately grandma's funeral, right? I'm there to support someone that I'm really close to. And so I can understand why in the need of like finding out there's someone that she was this close with for so long.
Yeah.
And she needs that, like, because they remind her, like, they kind of broke it off. They broke up initially because he didn't want kids and she did. So that's really just more of a lifestyle difference. Mm-hmm. And then she kind of had to cut things off with him because he tried to make a move, which could mean a lot of things. But I think in any context, trying to make a move on, even with someone you have history with, I think that also makes it kind of worse. But I can also understand, like, I can see a world where there's like a desperation on that. Yeah. Especially if this is being told through the current boyfriend's eyes, right? Yeah. So, like, it could very much be a... Actually, no, I'm not going to get into that because it is what it is.
Well, clearly there's a level of commitment to current boyfriend because she didn't, like... Presumably she didn't, like, cheat on
presumably, yeah.
with her ex.
But the fact she cut it off with him
says
a lot about, like, obviously she's more committed to this guy as it seems like they're planning a family together.
Now, did she start saying all that stuff immediately after they got back? Like, wait, what was the timeline there again?
The timeline here is she said all that at the funeral.
Okay.
She was making speeches. She made a speech about how they would be happy together and have a life together.
Oh, in front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
Oh, okay. Now, I missed that. Okay.
Because, like, mind you, this is current boyfriend's there as her moral support.
Yeah.
And she's already, like, not even family. So we're already, like, 3 generations out from, like, involved in this situation.
Right.
So I'm now at a funeral for someone I don't know and don't really like because he made a move. He made a pass on my girl.
Yeah.
And they already had history together. So now that they had to cut off being friends because of that.
Yeah.
So I'm at this funeral with her, for her sake.
Yeah.
And at this funeral, I'm now hearing her say how, as the current boyfriend, I'm never going to match up to that guy.
Yeah.
I know, apparently, according to you, I just don't compare, and I'll never compare.
Okay. I missed that. That's why I asked it. I was like, wait, what is the timeline? Because that changes how I think about this. Yeah. I was going to say, okay, they went through that. She came home, and maybe she's like
in the midst of her grief, she's saying stuff.
Well, grief dumping is a terrible way to form the words. But she has, the grief hit her hard, right? And it's like, oh... Like, he was a great guy. Things could have been different. We could have been a happy family. Like, in that security of the home with the boyfriend, I would be like, okay, that she's
know what? You're feeling shit. You're letting your walls down. You're letting your grief show.
Yeah.
We'll get this out. We might talk about it later, but we'll let that go.
That happened in front of everybody. There's still that, like, okay, she's grieving.
Everybody who doesn't care about you and cares more about him to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a lot of weird.
It's a lot of weirdness.
Shade casting, kind of, but it's like it's the environment for me.
Yeah.
It's all about the environment in that scenario. What happened when they got back? Is there anything that happened?
It sounds like he hasn't addressed it yet.
He hasn't addressed it yet.
Okay.
Probably because she's clearly grieving and he doesn't know if it's appropriate to be like,
yo, hey, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck was that about? So he's very much in a state of like, so the story as it's being told, like this post was made after they just got home. And
obviously she should not have brought him to that funeral.
This was 6 days ago, so I don't know. Hopefully we'll see.
Oh, that's recent.
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
Because, like, clearly she was grieving and she needed space to, like, mourn that relationship. But she literally brought that guy into a place where she openly challenged their existing current relationship. I don't care, like, how much you're not asking for emotional support at that point. You're just sabotaging what you currently have. I don't think that was appropriate if she was going. Maybe she didn't know she was going to react that way.
It's very possible.
But I think that was a dumb move for her.
Yeah. That's definitely weird. So, like, there was on the merit of bringing the boyfriend there. Like, I don't think that so much is weird. Like, that's kind of what you're saying.
I think not.
It's not that weird if she knew that was her feelings the whole time.
Yeah.
If you knew that was your feelings the whole time. And I guess it also raised the question: did she know that she was going to dump that out like that? Right? If she knew that that's how she was going to react, and that was the speech she was going to make, then sure, go for it. Now, I think the part where she got up and made a speech is kind of where there's a lot more deliberate actions at play here. And that definitely makes it a whole lot worse. So it's like bringing them to going to the funeral, bringing your boyfriend to the funeral, in and of themselves are not the weird bit. The fucking, I loved him so much, I couldn't see, like, there's already weirdness to that anyway, of like, if you loved him this much, him not wanting kids would have broken y'all up.
Yeah.
I don't believe that if you felt this way about the guy, him not wanting kids would have broken y'all up that way.
Yeah. There are a number of steps, definitely.
I wish we had never
entire
broke up.
Process
Bullshit.
That like could have, I don't know, could have been looked at again, and a different decision could have been made to have a better outcome. I don't know.
Because clearly she's like salient enough to commit to her relationship, decide what she wants, and go for it, right? That's some dumb stuff to say around your current partner, whether or not it's a real actual feeling that you feel in that moment.
Yeah.
Right? If this is a partnership you intend to continue into the future, this is some dumb shit to say.
Yeah.
Did you find an update?
There's an update.
There's
an update.
There's an update.
Yeah.
All right, so this was
what it
3 days ago from the same guy. Hello, everyone. It's been a
Sorry.
Why did you laugh?
The way you opened it up. How many comments are on it? Because it's
in the last one there was a couple thousand.
because it sounds like he's like addressing a whole room of people.
Because he
Hello,
kind
everyone.
of is.
Yeah.
In the original comment, it was 11,000 upvotes and 2,340 comments. So yeah, he was addressing a whole room of people.
State.
So yeah, hello everyone is appropriate. Is
That's
appropriate. Way
That's
to
why
address
I
all
laughed
this.
because I was like, "Dang, that blew up."
Oh,
6
actually,
days.
before I read this, interesting little possible development. So there's someone who leaves a comment. So basically, everybody in the original comment is saying the same thing. You're not the asshole if you break up with this chick. Like there's grieving, and then there's telling your current boyfriend to his face that the only reason you're with him is because previous boyfriend wasn't exactly
Didn't work
what you
out.
wanted.
Yeah.
Like that, if the previous boyfriend at any point said he wanted kids, you're out the fucking door because she's going right back to that guy. But under one of the top comments, someone goes, "Is this her?" with a link to another Reddit post.
Ooh.
Upvote this so he'll see it, please.
Wait.
It's not confirmed yet. I almost want to read this one.
What is it?
It's let's see if it actually comes up. I hope it's not deleted. Oh, the user was deleted.
Oh.
The user deleted, but the post is still up. Am I an asshole for wanting to go to my ex's funeral? Okay, I'm going to read this, and then we're going to jump back to the update. So my boyfriend, 29, and me, 29, have been together for about 4 years now.
Sorry.
I made a terrible mistake with my ex and slept with him about 2 years ago. Yes, while me and my boyfriend were together.
Oh.
I told my boyfriend and I begged him to stay. After some hard work, we reconciled. One of the things he told me I needed to do if I wanted him to stay is to cut off my ex from my life, so I did. Me and my ex have amazing memories together. We traveled several countries together. We broke up because he didn't want children and I did. But we continued to be good friends up until I cheated with him. Wow. 2 days ago, I found out he died in a car accident and his mom reached out to let me know. My boyfriend and I currently live together and he noticed me crying my eyes out. He asked why and I told him the truth. He went, oh. He did hold me until I fell asleep. I was messaging my ex's mom and she invited me to his funeral. When I told my boyfriend I was gonna go, he got mad. He told me his feelings are complicated. He says he's not gonna stop me from going, but he just doesn't know how to feel about this. He says he can't be supportive over this, and he said if I decide to go to my ex's funeral, he doesn't know if he will still want to stay with me. I want my boyfriend to be supportive when I'm in such pain, but I know I can't blame him. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that this might not be related, even though it's very possible that people post things out of order. Also, it's Reddit. These stories are probably made up. Because this was posted 22 days ago. Generally speaking, assuming this is happening in America, generally speaking, funerals usually happen within like a week. So that funeral would have happened like 15 days ago, 12, 15 days ago. The dude posted 6 days ago that he was literally just getting back from the funeral. Or let me make sure that's what he said.
That is still very coincidental if it isn't related.
That's crazy.
That's crazy coincidental. Now we're back home and she hasn't said anything about what she said. So yeah, it sounds like he posted that day up. So I'm led to believe that these are not related scenarios. But we got his update to read. So
that's wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. If these are, I'm hoping he addresses it. So we'll see. So this was from. Actually, let me check one more thing here. Yeah, that was 5 days ago. So it's possible. It's possible. This was.
So she was cheating on him. Maybe.
Oh, we'll see.
Maybe.
Okay. So this is now the update to the original Am I the Asshole post. Hello, everyone. It's been a stressful couple of days, and my post got a lot more attention than I expected. It was overwhelming, to be honest. It's been a week since the funeral itself, and I've been talking to some friends as well as reading comments on my last post. Truth be told, I've been hesitant to talk about this to my... Okay, so 3 days after that, he said it's been like a week, so it was a few days after, but oh well. Truth be told, I've been hesitant to talk about this to my girlfriend because she's still been depressed. She's not talking to me at all, and I've been taking care of everything around our place. She's been lying. She's just been lying in our bed. I've tried to talk to her, but she just shuts me out. I've been reflecting on our past relationship and realized a couple things. My girlfriend was never as passionate with me as she was with her ex. She never did anything as romantic or thoughtful for me when compared to her ex. For example, she's never gone traveling for more than 3 days with me, but she traveled often with her ex, sometimes for years. It's not like I haven't offered. I was simply told to get over it and that each relationship is different, and people said shit like if she wanted to be with her ex, she would be. Yeah. Something else to note is that some of you actually pointed my attention to another post, one that's about a girl going to her ex's funeral. I read the post, and I don't know if it's actually my girlfriend or not. Some details are different, like her age. We're both 30. Also, I never said anything about breaking up with her for going to the funeral. I wasn't exactly happy to see her mourn the guy she wanted to sleep with, who wanted to sleep with her while she was with him, but I didn't actually say anything. Now that post admitted that she actually cheated. I thought about this for a second, but it doesn't matter. Because she cheated or not, I already broke up with her. Because if she cheated or not, I already broke up with her. I did have a talk with her. She refused to at first, but by not responding to me. But when I told her I was leaving, she finally said something to me. I basically told her that I felt like crap ever since she said those things at the funeral. How I feel like she would rather be with her ex than me, that I felt like her second choice. She started to yell at me, calling me selfish, and that she's lost one of the most important people in her life, and I shouldn't make this about me. I was too tired to try to yell back. My things are already packed. I stayed with my parents for a while. Our lease doesn't expire for a month, so I don't know what she's planning to do. I don't know what to do now. I thought I was going to marry this girl someday and have kids, but she wanted someone else all this time. I appreciate all the comments, and I don't know if I'm going to post another update, but thank you. That was 3 days ago. So yeah, even he was like, he's not certain if that other post was really about her. I feel like if it was, because he would have known that she was cheating on him. So unless, if it is her, she's obviously lying and just got a whole lot of shit out there that she didn't expect to get back around to him. But it'd also be weird for you to post something like that on Reddit and knowing your boyfriend uses Reddit. Yeah. Because there's no way you don't know that. Let's see here. So somebody in the comments, one of the top comments, they kind of quote a few of his things. So I'm going to read what they say in quotes and then what the reply was. So, quote, calling me selfish and that she's lost one of the most important people in her life and I shouldn't make this about me, unquote. Here's the thing. She didn't lose one of the most important people in her life. She made it clear that she lost the most important person in her life. From your other post, quote, she kept talking about she wishes they never broke up in the first place and that she's never met someone who she loved as much as him. She made a speech about how she says that if things had been different, they'd be a happy family with children, unquote. I don't know what other conclusion to read from this. I could certainly see feeling sad or down when an ex that you've known for a significant part of your life passes away. But that's not only what occurred. She wishes they never broke up. She's never met someone who loved her as much as he did, and if things had been different, they would still be together. In each of those thoughts, you are, at best, second place. Yeah. Never includes you. She is with you because they broke up. She doesn't think that you can ever love her as much as he did, and if things were different with him, she would not be with you. Is she mourning him and the significance he had in her life, or is she mourning someone she still loved and mourning the loss of the opportunity to still be with him? You're not selfish, and you do not want to be with somebody where you will always be a placeholder. Yeah. Yeah. There really ain't much else to say. Period. Period. Put that shit away. Yeah. That's nutty.
That is a sad ending, though. But honestly,
fucking good for him.
He needed to get out of that. He needed to get out of that.
Like, absolutely not. Like, there's one thing. I know people can say a lot of crazy shit when they're grieving. I know people can be in really weird spaces when they're in that depressed state. They're like dealing with the death of a person and all that. Mm-hmm. But I also know that a lot of people will say the shit they really meant to say when someone's dead.
Yeah, like in those moments of true, raw, emotional highs and lows, you will see the true person come out. You can't filter what you want, what's going out to the world at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, like on the one hand, if she really loved him this much, I don't understand like how. I don't understand. I do understand how she could be with another person while loving him as much as she says she does. But on the other hand, like, if you are still this madly in love with the other guy,
you should never have settled with another.
You should never have settled with another person,
right? Because
at this point, you were never going to actually be with someone. Like, there was always just a matter of time before he either talked you down enough, and he probably didn't even have to do it that much. I don't know about you guys, but it's really hard for me to reconcile the connection that she clearly had with her ex and breaking up over not wanting kids. I don't understand how.
I mean, because I know for us, it might be partially because for us, kids aren't that important.
True.
But I don't know if there's anything in my life that there are very few things in my life that I think are that rock solid that I wouldn't be unwilling to come to some kind of a compromise.
Right.
Kids, I can understand. I can understand like kids being a kind of a because like if you don't want kids and someone you does want kids, you can't have kids. You dig?
But, I don't think. But then it's like
you can't. Why was it Solomon the kid?
Oh God.
Like my thing at that point though is okay, breaking down the reasons why we want kids or we don't want kids. Mm-hmm. Like, what are your reasons A, B, C if they're valid, which usually they, you should have valid reasons for wanting it or not wanting
I would hope
kids.
So.
It's something that we can talk about and work through. Right. And at the end of the day, if you both have really good reasons for wanting and not wanting, maybe it is that point of.
If I had to guess, it sounds like they had a lifestyle where they were traveling a lot, had a lot of freedom, a lot of variety. He probably wanted to continue that, and she wanted to.
He sounds like me.
Yeah.
The only difference between me and him would have been that I'm not unmoving on the idea of having kids. Like, I don't personally want kids. I very much like the idea of being able to travel and kind of doing with my money what I want to do and not have to plan. Well, I mean, there's always something you got to do with your money. But, like, I like the idea of not adding children to the equation because it really does kind of slow a lot of things down.
They're an investment.
But if I'm, like, depending on who I'm with.
Investment, they suck up your whole life.
They really kind of do.
For, like, 18 years at least.
And sometimes more. Yeah. But, like, I'm not, like, if the woman I wind up with wants kids, we'll have kids. I'm not tripping on that. But I can understand where he'd come from, where there's, like, I can understand the world where there's no compromise, is what I'm getting at, right? What I don't understand is a world in which that compromise has to be made, but you're still this madly in love with the guy.
Yeah.
That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Also, the part where he tried to make a move at her. So it's like, you both are clearly still in love with each other.
Yeah. That was a little scummy.
That was scummy of him.
Of him.
Already.
Yeah, of him, for sure.
Of it, like,
well, I mean, it takes two to tango.
It takes...
For a second, enough of the details line up that I'm pretty fucking convinced that post is from that girl.
Like I said, the only reason I don't think so is the timelines are. I'd have to really sit and look at the dates of how everything goes down. Also, we'd have to know like when the funeral took place after her post. Like that's the only thing to me that goes just how I kind of know funerals go down here. Yeah. I can see it being different posts that just happen to line up. But if remove that from the equation, absolutely, that's the same post.
Yeah.
There is no way that's not like a related.
Either
post.
that, or this was a post written in fiction based on the other post,
which is the much more probable. But it's more fun. You can have a conversation about
but for the sake of the conversation, we assume that
we have to kind of assume that this is actually taking place. That's crazy. Sucks that the ex-boyfriend had to die for current boyfriend to realize this was not, this wasn't going to work out
for both of them.
You never know how long you have people in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You never we can envision a different alternate future where they stayed together and he didn't get in a car crash, but you never know what's going to happen when.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we said, it could be very possible that she didn't even know she felt this way until.
Yeah.
Right.
And hell, they could have got married. They could have a very happy life with him being second best.
Right. Yeah. Like, it's one of those, if you go your whole life without ever knowing, does it hurt you really? But who knows?
But I don't know about y'all, but
Yeah. You're best choice by default now, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's why you. Never mind enough.
Holy. All right. Well, that is Reddit. Am I the asshole? We'll have another juicy one for next week. I'll try to find some good ones.
Yeah.
Or
He has the juice.
We have the juice. If anybody listening, if you have good Am I the Asshole stories of either from Reddit, from Twitch,
Or your own
Twitter,
experience.
or your own, send it in to us. If you have any requests, any you want to know our feelings on some stuff, go for it. But hey,
but disclaimer: we're not professional therapists.
well, we're super not. Don't take our advice to mean shit.
Professional.
We
should never be followed.
We are professional armchair psychologists.
Yes.
Professional and professional.
Mm-hmm.
But listen to us still because we're entertaining.
Yes, we are. Compared to the last 3 episodes, we are kind of doing this out of order. Normally, we will leave manga and manhwa for the end. I say normally, we just kind of happen to do that. We're going to kind of do this a little bit earlier this time because we've been neglecting our fluff boy here.
I don't know about that.
So, the crown prince that sells medicine. I don't like that concept. I don't like the idea of that.
Where's his crown? He's got no crown on his head.
Yeah, that's not the part that bothers me.
That's the part that bothers me.
I don't like the idea of a rich person.
A crown prince is a position. It means that you're the prince who's in line for the crown.
Yeah, that's still a person who's rich beyond wild.
Who's
measure,
rich beyond their wildest dreams.
controlling medicine. Anywho, I'm the crown prince, the frail and sickly crown prince in the novel, but I'm a traditional Korean medicine doctor. Oh, I guess it can't be helped. Reforming internal constitution, recovering of energy, invigorating vital energy, and increasing vitality. I'll take care of my body from now on. Fluff, give us the rundown.
Explain.
So there are only 7, as of the time of recording, there are only 7 episodes that have been out. This one is fairly new.
So this one you can hop in on now.
Azure Scans has just picked it up. And so far it's pretty good. It's not bad. Nothing has really popped out to me. I'm like, this is the one. Or nothing's been crazy good or crazy bad either. It's just been a pretty solid read, but it is related to the greatest real estate developer.
It's related, or just
Yeah, it looks so.
Like a side story or something, or
Yeah, they made it looks like this takes place a couple generations after the events of the greatest real estate developer.
Oh,
the same author and everything.
I'm not sure if it's the same author and everything because I can't read Korean.
That's fair.
I'll be honest, I didn't look into it that much. But they do reference the greatest real estate developer at least to make it seem like this takes place in the same world as a part of. Oh my gosh! Stop grumbling. As part of the continuity. So
Cool.
I
building.
am excited for it. If my assumptions are correct along the lines that it's by the same people, it's probably gonna be really fucking good. Because the greatest real estate developer is really fucking good.
Yeah.
So
I still gotta read it. I gotta start it. I keep saying I'm going to, and I'll be saying it for the next 3 years.
just like I'm saying that I'm gonna put together a bed frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you actually started making progress on it.
Well, that's because I'm gonna have 40 people in my house, and I'm not gonna be looking like a motherfucking deadbeat in front of 40 motherfucking people.
Too late for that. Sorry, but your parents have already seen it. My parents have already seen it. Most of my family has seen that fucking room.
I'm gonna be a changed man.
in exactly 4 days.
I can clean up nice. I promise.
Since we're already in this, for those who don't know, I guess it doesn't matter if you know or not. We're recording this basically a week ahead of Christmas, and so the a couple days before that, we're having all three of our families over, and as well as my two best friends, Izzy and his girlfriend, are going to be coming over for a big ass shindig, Christmas shindig that my mother so graciously forced me to do.
It should be interesting.
I'm kidding. Your mother forced you to do part of it, and then I forced you to do the rest.
You didn't force me to do the rest. I'm kidding. As much as I complain about it, at least in the text to these guys, I am actually excited to have it. It's going to be a fine time. It's going to be fun.
I'm very pumped.
It's going to be interesting to see how we fit.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people for this place.
In King's HQ, but we'll figure it out.
That's right. 2 weeks ago, I looked up square footage calculators in case we needed to switch venue. It's way too late to talk about that now.
Oh, great. Yeah, there's definitely more people that we should have in here, but it's okay. It's okay. Most of those people are children, and therefore are going to be half size.
They don't count.
Anywho, Crown Prince that sells medicine. Was there anything else?
I just wanted to point it out and pull it out. It's something I'm excited for, and I have high hopes for in the coming future.
Sweet. How often do chapters Sorry, I don't know.
It's a Korean, so I expect weekly releases.
It's a Korean.
It's a manhwa. It's being published in Korea, so I expect weekly releases. That's typically what their release schedule is. So
fair enough.
Yeah,
cool. All right, our second one for today: Tales of Demons and Gods. In his previous life, Nai Li stood unrivaled at the apex of the martial world as one of the most formidable demon spiritists.
I think that is spiritists.
Spiritists, okay. Yet during a decisive battle with the Sage Emperor and the 6 deity-ranked beasts, he tragically lost his life. Unexpectedly, his soul was reborn, taking him back in time to when he was just a 13-year-old boy. Huh? I don't know anything about reincarnation, so I'm not going to say anything about if that works or not. Despite being the weakest in his class, only possessing a red soul realm, Nai Li leverages the immense knowledge he acquired from his past life to train at an unprecedented speed. Haunted by visions of his city's future devastation by beastly assaults, Nai Li is driven by a profound desire to protect it. He seeks to safeguard his beloved, his friends, and his family, who all met untimely ends in the previous timeline due to these attacks. Moreover, he is resolved to bring down the sacred family, who in his past experience betrayed the city by abandoning their responsibilities. Jesus Christ. His journey intertwines destiny and duty, courage and love, vengeance and redemption. And then there's a hot big tit anime chick down here. My harem grew. We're going to talk about that another
time. My harem grew like these baps. Tales of Demons and Gods. It's not for everybody, but I really, really, really like it.
It's deep in there too.
Are you caught up?
Oh yeah. It's only 833 chapters. This is another one where the chapters are pretty bite-sized. You could be a little quieter.
Yeah, we don't make us put you away in the video. We'll get yelled at in the comments. But we'll have to because you're messing up the recording. You're being needy.
You just have to not grumble as much.
I think the bass frequencies out.
Yeah, we actually probably could.
But then you won't hear Rueben at all.
There's a good chance. Honestly, I don't think he gets picked up too bad, so it's okay.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first synopses that I've seen where I'm like, that's pretty spot on.
Nice.
That's pretty spot on.
Not like our first episode where you straight up go, here's the manga, here's the synopsis. That synopsis is bullshit.
It was one of the worst synopses I've ever seen. Yeah, but he, the reason I was attracted to this was 2 reasons, right? A lot of like manhwas or mangas center around real fucking edgelord characters.
Yeah.
Right? Where like they're like, I'm all in it for myself. And I'm here to conquer the world and get revenge on everybody that hurt me. And like everybody in the world is the biggest fucking asshole you've ever met. Mm-hmm. So like when, the edgy main character, rips their asshole out of their forehead, you're like, yeah.
Everybody's like teenage power fantasy.
Yeah. And this is not that at all.
Really?
Right? I mean, the character's primary motivation is to take care of like the love of his life and their family and to protect his community and to foster like everybody together, right? And it does one of the best jobs, I think, of like the main character taking everybody with them as they go.
Oh, nice.
Right. So nobody's ever really left behind. Like some characters come in and out of the story, like depending on what their focus is. But everybody is growing together while this is happening, which I really, really liked. It also does a really good job of like keeping the focus of the story, keeping you interested, keeping like tension, without like losing the overarching picture. He has a very clear goal, right? Which is to stop the character, the Sage Emperor. That's his ultimate goal. And then there are intermittent goals like stopping his city, the Glory City, from being destroyed.
Nice.
Right. The artwork on this one isn't, the craziest stuff you've ever seen. I think it's pretty good. I actually enjoy it, and they did have fun little illustrations sometimes in front of the comics that I think are very funny. I've also pronounced it Neely in my head, so
I went with Nye because it's spelled like pie with an N.
Fair enough.
It could very much be Neely for all I know.
So I don't know which one's correct because I've always said it in my head.
Koreans, help!
I think this one's Chinese.
Chinese folk, help!
Tap out.
I almost said a slur.
And canceled after 4 episodes. Canceled.
Oh man.
Canceled.
Ooh, that was close.
Also, one of the reasons why I was attracted to this at first is it's centered around the romance, at least at the start, is monogamous, which is a breath of fresh air.
Other than like everything being a harem.
Yeah. It gets more and more harem-y as things go on.
Fair.
Which is, I've learned to accept it. But,
Dang.
yeah.
I would feel that after so many chapters, I don't know, maybe that's just something that people are like, I guess we'll throw a little bit of that in there at this point. But I don't know, not every story needs it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, like
I feel like it's easier to stomach if it starts with a harem versus having someone who starts with what seems to be a monogamous.
Yeah, with him being like,
marriage.
this chick I was in love with, and then they died. And then
I can now save them. We are still in love. But because the story has now progressed past that plot point, and they're introducing more people.
Oh, that other secondary love interest, guess what? I also had something happen with them in my past life that I never told you about.
Oh, fantastic.
That I conveniently forgot about. Uh-oh, what's going to happen there?
Oh, great. Oh, it's always fun.
And then we got a new introduction to a character.
There's another one, and he's just... But yeah, it handles things, I think, a little bit better than most harem-y, like, bullshit, but it's still a harem, which minus 2 points. So it's at 10 points.
Wait
a minute. What scale are you using there, sir?
It's an out of 5.
No, this is one, every time I see it pop up on my feed, I read it
Super
immediately. It's really fun to read. The story, I think, is interesting. There are stakes. Crazy shit happens all the time. The cultivation system, I think, is very unique and interesting in its own right. I really enjoy it. And yeah. Nice.
Sweet. Well, heck yeah. And that was the Manhwa, and Manhwa.
There's Manhua and Manhua.
Okay, thank you. The Manhwa, and the manga hour. Our weekly anime comic deal with the Fluffinator. So
don't start with that one yet.
Yeah, I don't want to start with this
or
one.
Do something. Whatever.
Are we really going to talk about the Enzo Pee Pee Poo Poo Man?
Yes.
I initially didn't have it in the plans to talk about today, but Izzy and Ruben were like, yes. So
may as
like,
well.
All right.
Because your dog is fucking weird, man. I say that my mom's dog was the exact same way.
Yeah.
It is the exact same way. That dog's still kicking. She's doing good.
Yeah.
But yeah, your fucking dog's pee-pee. Oh yeah, no, we're back. No worries about that.
Oh, we're back.
Nah, we're rolling right into this shit, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, this, and again, we probably should do a little bit of modification on this if we're showing this. Like,
I'll worry about it later.
But this is kind of the map layout for taking out me and my fiance's dog around King's HQ.
Oh, you're calling him your dog now too.
He's Fatty Boy is going to be my dog too. Yes, here soon. So I'm starting to figure out how he functions, and he is a very interesting animal. What we will say, he has a very certain path and a very certain pattern that he has to take in order for him to pee or poo. And it is this every time. Without fail, this will happen. Whether he has to go really, really bad or whether he doesn't have to go. It just works. It works every time. So we come out the house, turn left, and those X's are places where he can pee. But that pee spot is
where he will definitely pee.
He will definitely pee if he has not peed yet. Like, he will not pee past that point. He will not. And if he hasn't peed in there, he will have to do a full circle throughout the whole path and then go back to that spot to pee. He will not do it anywhere else.
I'm guessing that's more marking behavior than really peeing.
Oh, yeah, Gizmo pees up all in there all the time.
Yeah.
What happens if you turn right out of the door?
He doesn't know what to do at that point.
Yeah.
He explodes.
Yeah, we haven't tried that, nor do I really want to, because then he'll get confused. Yeah. We don't need Fatty Boy.
Fatty Boy is
no brain
easily
cell
confused.
getting confused. Yes. No, he's a good boy. He's a cute boy. But yeah, and that blue area there, we have to stop before crossing any street because my fiance, quote unquote, taught him to look both ways / all ways before crossing the street.
And let me
How
guess,
do you teach that dog anything?
At no point does he ever actually look both ways, does he?
No, he just does this.
He just... okay. He does look both ways.
He does, but he has no idea why.
What he's looking for. He's just doing it.
If there's a car there, he will do that, and if I act like I'm going to move, he will happily cross the street with the car coming barreling at him. So, but, you know, he does the movement.
All he knows is that before we cross the road, we wiggle ahead.
We wiggle the head.
Right, exactly. And
some reason they say no before they cross the street. I don't understand it, but...
From the outside looking in, it looks like we trained him, so people are like, oh, yeah!
Oh man, Fatty Boy is the epitome of lights on but nobody's home.
Yes. All the time, 24/7, every day, like constant. But after that crossroad, we go past it, and we always run that. Me and him, actually, we are really the ones that run that. Mm-hmm. And when my fiance's taking him on the same path, she's found that he starts to tug her around that part because he wants to run.
He wants to run that.
So I've like trained that into him. But that's because if I don't do that, he might not 100% poop in that poop stretch. So you have to get his body moving so that he's ready to poop. And as long as I run him there, he will 100% poop somewhere in that long stretch of land right there. For the longest time, we've been trying to figure out how to get him to do it, and now it only works if we run him. If you don't, we have to do a whole circle again.
You don't gotta run Gizmo. Like, I'll tell you what. You see the pee spot?
Yeah,
he's for sure peeing in there.
Well, no, that's
a couple houses down.
That's
we're the red spot circle. Or are you talking about when you take him on the walk?
I'm pointing at the map.
Okay,
I'm reading the map.
Have you taken Gizmo around to?
Did you? Because I told you where he pees and poops, and then you said no. That's incorrect.
Well,
so what's going on?
We usually let him out like right outside the house. That's why I'm
So when I take Gizmo for a walk.
Okay.
When I take Gizmo for a walk, he for sure pees in the area, but he's absolutely pooping in the next door neighbor's yard. He's absolutely pooping in the next door neighbor's yard first. All right, so then we walk that back, and then we walk back and he pees again.
Yeah.
And then we make it to the other side of the street, across from our house, and then he poops again. That's the second poop. All right.
He does twice the poop.
He does twice. He does that's the second poop. But after that, all right, there's a third poop coming.
A third one.
You say that like there's not a 10th and 11th poop that happens eventually.
Sometimes there is a fourth poop. Sometimes there is a fourth poop, but it's usually just 3 poops.
Sir, I've seen that dog walk around already.
Sometimes I will bring 4 bags, and then I'll be like, "You're kidding."
Sir, I've seen us chain that, like, put that dog out in the front, and he will shit at least 9 times.
He will walk around the yard in the squatting position
and just
waddling around,
Yeah,
dropping
it's real
bombs.
fun.
I've never seen a single animal produce that much shit.
It's real fun when you're doing that, but he's doing that in front of you in the dark. It's somebody else's lawn, dropping turds this big. Trying to catch him with your flashlight.
I know this. I said this podcast could be about anything, but this is really about anything. So yeah, we're going to talk about a dog shit for a couple seconds here because I've never witnessed. It's not like we don't let the dog out. Who?
Oh my gosh.
But
Get out.
We let him out literally every day, and there was a period in the summer where he would shit literally every day, and it was just as big every time. Every time this dog shits, he shits what seems to be a week's worth of food. And I don't understand how this is happening.
This boy eats like 4 cups of food a day and still looks like
True.
like Gollum.
Now that you mention it, yeah. Like, that dog is a poop making machine, bro. Like, good Lord.
I wish Enzo had that level of just like need to poopness around here. Because he has volume.
I could do a lot with that much dog shit. That's a resource. You gotta reclaim it.
That's a more eloquent way to put it.
Yeah, honestly. But no, I think it's because of Gizmo and how he's marked literally this entire area that he will not poop outside the house. We have to walk him.
Destroyed my lawn.
Yeah, we have to walk him. We can't just let him out in the front like we do Gizmo.
Took care of it anyway.
Because your dog shits it up.
Yeah, we literally cannot maintain that area.
Your dog has dug up my the whole front lawn and our flower bed. Like, your dog kicks like a goddamn, like, oh man, we will actually have to do something about that too.
Yeah.
In the sense of like getting the lawn back in order and the flower bed. Like, I'm gonna have to get some mulch or something. And holy shit, man.
But no, we tried to just let him out like we do Gizmo here and put him on a leash and just let him do his thing out in the yard.
Enzo, you mean?
Enzo, yeah, but he wouldn't do it, and we went almost 48 hours of trying to get him to go in the yard, and he held it that long because he just did not want to pee or shit in that area. And so finally I had to make that round, and of course that you
find what works. Now here's the fun bit. You're gonna have to relearn all this shit.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Because ooh, that's gonna be fun. We all gotta figure out a new route.
Yeah.
Wherever y'all move into.
It will be interesting.
Huh.
But yeah, that's the path.
Yeah, that was 10 minutes of us talking about dog shitting.
We come here for the quality content.
Exactly. This is what
things you care about. Things are relevant to you.
This is what the people want, I'm sure, until they tell us otherwise. Because the first episode still hasn't gone up yet. That first episode isn't going up till tomorrow.
Fair enough.
So, other real life thing.
Yeah, real quick too. So
this man won
when I get the mail, I signed up for the thing where you can see the mail in your email and you can like see what the mail is.
Informed deliverer.
Yeah,
I love that thing.
It's nice.
Really nice.
But I never look at it. I signed up for it, never look at it.
I started doing it because I still got stuff that goes to my parents' house.
That's
so
fair.
It's like I try to make, if I think I know I got something important coming in, I'll try to look at it. But for the most part, I ignore that shit.
Yeah, that's fair. I've always ignored it all the way up until today. Today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do myself a favor and actually see what's coming my way.
Yeah.
And there was just one piece of mail that was in this informed delivery this time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm gonna look at it for the first time in years. I'm going to look at it. I open it up. Jury summons. The one time I look at this is the one time I really do not want to look.
I don't want this.
But I have to. I have to receive this mail.
Oh yeah, whether you fucking want to or not, baby, you getting that shit, and you got to deal with it. So
yeah.
When is it?
I haven't even looked at. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you don't have seen the letter.
I didn't go out to actually check the mailbox. I just looked at it in my email, and I was like, no. I was like, gosh, dang it.
Yeah, our boy has to go snitch on some people.
Jury duty summons.
He has to go snitch on someone who did something.
They did a band.
Oh yeah, we can talk about it all the.
Yes.
Can you talk about it actually?
No, you probably super can't.
No.
Actually, I think
definitely.
Afterwards you can.
Once it's done, but during.
Because during the thing, assuming if you have to go multiple days, you can't say. I think they make you stay there.
Imagine.
If you get in a deadlock jury or some shit, and you got to stay there, you have to stay there, or they put you up in like a hotel, like a monitor hotel or some shit.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
What happens if you're on a case that lasts like 2 years or something crazy?
Sucks to be you.
Well, usually.
I don't think anything at this level would go that long.
Well, usually that's also like trial prep.
Yeah.
Usually the actual trial itself doesn't last that long, but like the case.
Yeah, you're not going to be in front of a jury for most of that. A lot of that is like appeals and summons and discovery and all kinds of bullshit.
That's what the judge is for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, what's his name? Manson.
You know,
I feel
that's
like
it.
his trial was jury, and it went on for like 2 years.
It's very possible. I don't know. That would be interesting to find out.
I feel like they would have like certain like a schedule or something and times and days and places where like the jury would need to
I guess it wouldn't
be.
I don't know. I don't know that it was court proceedings the whole time. So.
Because I mean, I feel like
Say
maybe
bye to
this
your job.
Right.
at least maybe this doesn't compare, but like some of the more televised trials, which of celebrities and crap. Like maybe it's not the same, but like for those juries that those trials lasted quite a while, they would just send them home, but they'd be like, don't talk about it on social media, don't talk about it to your friends, like you can't. Yeah, like don't look at you got to be essentially blocked from a good portion of the internet from posting and seeing.
Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know. I think that especially for something that isn't as high profile as that. I think they would just be like, yeah, just go home, don't talk about it, and come back like in 2 days when we'll have the next part of the trial. I don't know. That makes sense to me, but
like
I haven't looked it up.
Like, as long as you don't research it, you're not gonna find anything.
Yeah.
Unless it is a celebrity case.
Because they want you to be influenced by
Nothing. Just the facts of the case or some bullshit.
Yeah.
I guess my question is in the Marilyn Manson shit. Was it the same court case or was it multiple different parts of a case going on? Because I guess that can also make a difference. It's whether or not like I
don't know. Honestly, I will say the only like trial stuff that I have watched in recent times was all the stuff that happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like honestly, that stuff was so televised and just pushed out there that it was hard not to at least sniff it.
Yeah.
Right? And see what was happening.
And that's an exception. Most trials aren't televised, period, which I think personally is a mistake. I think there should be more transparency in our judicial system, even though I understand, people want it to exist, in isolation, but I don't, especially for higher profile things, I think that's a mistake. I think people need to see what's going on so that nobody can lie about what happens later, basically.
Just off a very quick search, it looks like jury duty will only last for 15 days during a specified month. So whatever happens after that, it either have to go to like a new trial, go to trial again or whatever.
I know
I'll definitely look into it more later.
Yeah, I got summoned one time before, and I went to the place that we needed to go, but like after sitting there for like 45 minutes, they were just like, "Actually, we don't need you guys. Go home."
Wait, you've been summoned twice?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've never been summoned.
I've never been summoned either.
Or if I have, I've never seen the letter.
Well, FBI agents, don't come for us.
I'm pretty sure that's like bad.
It's
What,
very
that
bad.
you-
If
oh,
you're
that you don't
ignoring a
open it?
jury summons, it's very bad.
Yeah, you can go to
I feel
jail
like
for that.
I feel like
think.
I would know if I missed a jury summons.
I think you can actually like get fined or go to jail for that.
Probably.
I also think that's one of those things where like being like, oh, I just didn't see it. They don't.
They're like, we don't give a shit.
They're like, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I am curious to see like how often that happens and like what happens in different scenarios. I actually have not looked into that much.
Google. What happens if you miss a jury summons?
There's also all sorts of ways that people say that you can get out of it. Like, I think they ask you
They do actually like
some
some
questions.
questions.
Yeah.
But there were some where you would get sort of dismissed automatically if you said certain things, but now apparently if you say those things you can like get held in contempt of court just because they became such common loopholes.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I'm gonna read this. Any person summoned for jury duty who fails to appear as directed may be ordered by the district court to appear forthwith and show cause for failure to comply with the summons. I don't know why forthwith makes me laugh. So first, you get yelled at for not showing up. According to an answer on Quora, however you pronounce it, Quora,
Aura, yeah.
nothing will
According to some
happen.
dude.
What's the question? What happens if you miss a summons for jury duty? I got called for jury duty in the U.S. during finals week, and the summons went to my mom's house in a different state. I didn't see the summons until after the date had passed. Some dude answered, nothing will happen despite the mandatory language in the summons. Your name was probably chosen at random by a computer using either your voter registration or driver's license data. You really don't have to do anything. You'll probably get another one in a few months, so you can respond to that one. Oh, this is about if you literally just miss the one letter. Failure to show up for duty. Failure to appear. Any person who fails to show good cause for non-compliance with the summons may be fined not more than $1,000, in prison for not more than 3 days, ordered to perform community service, or any combination thereof.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just like don't go because you're just like fuck that, I don't want to go.
That's expensive.
It can be pretty expensive. That's pretty expensive. I would probably opt for the fucking 3 days in jail. No, I wouldn't do that. I would.
I'm just gonna go.
I would opt for the community service. Like
I think the way it's worded, I think they could do both to you.
any combination of the three. So I think I feel like you can't do the maximum of any single one, but definitely you could do a sliding scale of all three to some degree. Like it would be like 1 day community service, 1 day in jail, and fucking $300.
I'm pretty sure they could slap you with.
Oh, that would suck. That would actually suck.
$1,000, 3 days in jail, I can be served.
See, sometimes I wonder if like the government or like authorities like kind of like similar to downtown parking sometimes where it's like, hey, you'll get towed if you park here, but like everybody still parks there and nobody gets towed.
You mean like us parking in the facility, the faculty parking, our entire like last three?
Don't let them know.
Oh, that'll be fine. Like our last 3 fucking years of college.
Parking in the instructor parking lot.
Literally the instructor parking lot, because there was nothing that stopped you from not parking in there other than the threat of being towed or like
Or
ticketed.
charged. Yeah, fine.
I think I did get ticketed like
Once, didn't you?
Yeah.
maybe twice, I think.
Did I get a ticket? No,
I
because
think I got
you have to
ticketed.
pay the tickets to. I may have gotten a ticket. Now I think.
But literally
I
the
got
only
a couple parking tickets, but
so the thing we learned was like, so they would be pretty much coming as parking tickets, but it was like, yeah, they stopped checking after like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was like splits around until like 5 p.m. and then go park.
Right.
Figure out something. If you got to park all day, yeah, go to the main student parking. But
Right. Like sometimes I just wonder if like those kind of threats, just because there's just so many people to keep track of, or so many cars, or so
Right.
many, in this case, people for jury duty, it's like, a few of them will slip the cracks, whatever. We're just going to throw out this general warning that
Yeah.
you could get fined and go to jail. Maybe that will scare everybody into coming in.
I think it's the part of you have to provide a reason why you didn't go. that's the pretty much probably nobody gets in trouble because of that. Because it's like, look, bro, I was out of the fucking state. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I was in a different state. I was doing finals. Like,
right. I'm just glad I've never had to deal with a jury summons, and I'll probably see one next week now that I've said it out loud.
Would you like to be me for?
Honestly, yes. I want to go to a jury. I
he
want
wants to fuck your wife.
Boy.
That's so much worse than like that he wants to like your mom joke. It's so disrespectful. Shit.
You gotta love the ADH.
Oh my god.
Gotta love the brain. No, you good.
Oh man,
that's funny though.
That's funny.
I was not expecting that.
So it turns out me and her had a thing years ago. We broke up for different reasons.
We've been best
We broke up
friends.
because she wants kids. I
You
don't
didn't
want kids.
Well, you know what that means though.
I have to die now. Thank God, dude. Waiting my whole life for this. No,
Waiting your whole life to prove that Kenton's always second best.
no, waiting my whole life to die.
The sweet release of
To
death
prove Kenton's second best.
and to die.
I have proven my superiority over you. I can now die happy.
The sweet release.
The sweet relief. Holy fuck. Oh, man, that's
funny.
so disrespectful. Holy shit. God, what was I saying? No. I want to go to jury duty. I want to be on jury
After
duty.
just saying you did not want to.
After all this shit of like,
Yeah, I wanna
glad I
go.
don't have to. It's an experience I've never had before, and I want to do it.
That's fair. I accept that. That's fair.
Also, once again, I get paid salary right now, so it's not like I lose out on anything other than getting a free day off of work and a free lunch.
You know what?
Like,
You're right.
I feel like the main reason a lot of people don't like doing jury duty is because it disrupts their day from whatever job they're working, and what you get paid for jury duty is barely minimum wage from what I hear. Like, you do not get paid very well.
Well, I think a lot of people just don't like being responsible for
Also, then there's that part.
other people's,
the
shit.
freedom of someone. I don't want to be on a murder trial. Maybe I do.
Well, I don't know. My fiance currently.
I want to know what it tastes like to kill somebody. So I got to start somewhere. I think, convicting somebody on a jury is step one.
Okay, I see where you're coming
Going
from.
to becoming a serial killer. Get on a murder trial.
Get on a murder trial. It's the weird bit. It was the phrasing of "I want to know what it tastes like" that caught me the most off guard about that whole thing.
Okay, Craven, continue.
Holy fuck! Oh man.
But no, my fiance did recently get back from jury duty, and she was able to talk about it afterward, and it did sound kind of interesting. So,
Yeah.
But seeing as I didn't actually get into the trial the first time I went, it's kind of tainted the experience of jury duty for
That's
me.
fair, yeah.
Now I'm like, what's the possibility that I'm just not? It's going to be the same. I'm not going to get any drama. I'm not going to get any tea.
You have to know how to answer it because I believe the defendant is who decides the jury.
No, it's both.
Is it both?
Yeah,
Is it
so
both
like
shows?
they both have a right to remove jurors for different reasons.
Okay, you just have to play both sides.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They
they
actually-
dismissed everybody.
Oh, really?
The first time, everybody.
I wonder if they struck like a deal or something, or there was like
I think that's what happened.
an
That sounds like
amends.
that's the experience for most people that I know that go to jury duty. They're like, yeah, I went, and then somebody said something stupid, and then I didn't do anything.
Then they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
See, I want to go to a jury duty because I want to 12 Angry Men this shit. Like, I want to create a hung jury and let that shit, like, I just want to, like, disagree and dissent for 12 straight days.
Just walk into it knowing I'm going to answer.
Damn well.
I'm going to vote this way no matter what.
I'm voting against all of you every time.
If you flip,
I'm flipping because now You might have convinced me about something here.
Y'all playing Survivor, jury duty. Like, I might flip on her if, we should team up. We should team up as jurors.
I just want to know what it's like to create a hung jury.
Play the system, kids. That's what we're telling you.
That's what we're telling you to do.
Yes. Don't do it, but do it.
No, do it. Do it.
Do it, but don't do it.
So you want to go to jury to play out a Power Fantasy.
Yeah. You want to go to jury duty to
taste,
to start on your long road of murder.
No, like, for real, be real about it. I mean, it's like, I would hope that the people at the jury were, if I was on trial, I would want people on the jury looking out for, like, doing their best to be impartial and set me free.
I was going to say bullshit. I want them to, like, set me the fuck free. I don't care if I did do it or not.
No, but like,
it's just a little meth.
Just a little bit.
Just a little Ziploc little pouch.
it's just a little bit.
Oh, man. This is why.
Wasn't it that bad, Your Honor? Gosh.
Oh, man. We are the voting age.
Your Honor, I plead teensy weensy.
Oh, my God. Okay, we got a few more things to talk about. This episode's going to go fucking long. I guess fuck it. We're just doing 2-hour episodes. That's okay.
I thought that was the goal from the get.
No, the goal was to record 2 hours so that we can edit out what we need to get it down to like about an hour. And then we just so fucking funny and entertaining the whole time that we're just going to have full 2-hour episodes now.
Oh, you forgot cute.
Yo, post-editing Blitz here. I realized once I was done with the episode that we spring this discussion on you really fast. And we put up some images that are kind of spoilery. So if you don't want to be spoiled on Super Mario RPG Remake Final Endgame stuff, jump to this timestamp to go past the image we put up, or jump to this timestamp to go past the whole discussion. Thank you for the support. Okay, love you, bye-bye. Do you want to start with No Straight Roads, or is there something else you want to start with?
The only other thing I would start with was just the ending of Mario RPG.
You want to start with that?
I don't know. We don't have to. We can.
I kind of want to, because what the fuck is this? What in the goddamn fuck is this?
Okay, spoiler alert if you're playing Super Mario RPG and you don't want to get spoiled right now.
I'll have something at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. We're talking about Mario RPG, the ending and spoilers. Okay.
Skip to the location. I'll probably put it down in the description and at the bottom of the screen to skip to if you want to get past this.
Yeah.
For this 30-year-old game.
Yes. The remake, the Switch remake that came out, really cool, really great. I didn't play the original, but it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Takes me back to the days when I played a lot of like Dragon Quest. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy, but I'm a little into that. And of course, again, played like some of the other Mario RPGs, like Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, some of the more recent ones. So again, kind of taking it back to its roots, I loved like experiencing that in this format. It was great. I beat the final boss and everything. It was cool. This isn't the final boss though. Not really. No. So the final boss of the true game is Smithy.
Oh, Smithy.
Smithy. I always interchange them, but Smithy. Yeah, it is him.
So he comes back.
Well, that's not Smithy.
Whoa.
But
I understand he's not Smithy.
Yes, that's not Smithy. What that is, his name is Kulex. I think I put his name on the picture in the thing.
Here's the Ku Klux Klan.
The KKK, yes. But that is Kulex. And he is what they called the super boss of Mario RPG. Okay. So after you beat the main boss, they do have some post-game content. At least in the original they did. And you'll see both these versions in the post-game of Super Mario RPG if you do a little side quest and unlock him and his super boss battle.
Interesting.
You first fight him on the right in his two-dimensional form, and this is actually a nod to Final Fantasy. I think there's a lot of references to a few of like the Final Fantasy
Hold
4.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You see both of these in the same game. That's not just the original.
So on the right,
yeah,
that is the original.
Okay, that is the original. Okay.
On the right, and you fight him You fight the one on the right in the remake.
Really now?
Yes.
Okay.
When you
Looking like
enter,
that.
yes, when you go and enter the battle and enter the gates after doing the little side quest you got to do, and you open the gate and unlock it,
You just bop into
see
this
him
16-bit
as his
motherfucker.
8-bit whatever thing, like floating up to 3D Mario. It's like, oh, you're 3-dimensional. I am this being, Kulex, dark king from this dimension, traveled here to fight, a mighty warrior or something. Do you want to fight me?
The one on the right is much sexier.
He is a little.
Yeah, it's giving a little bit more power.
It's definitely giving that Final Fantasy Actually, now that I think about it, Mario RPG was done by Platinum, wasn't it? No, not Platinum. Sorry, Square Enix.
I want to say yes, but
at least the original.
I can't confirm nor deny.
Okay.
But yeah, you fight him in that 2D form for the first time you see him and fight him, and you beat him, right? And he gives you a item that you can wear, basically doubles your damage and
Nice.
and halves your I guess damage you take. Like it doubles your power and halves the damage you take. Really cool.
Square.
Yeah. So
You're square.
that I don't think that character in and of itself is actually a character in the Final Fantasy series, but it's based off of a lot of other
You can
characters.
see the design influence.
Yes. And so you fight him, you get his item, and then after you do that, there's even basically it unlocks all the rest of the bosses from the whole game. They're basically now harder, and you can go and fight the bosses again.
Can you do them in their original sprites or just?
No, that would have been cool actually,
been sweet.
but they didn't do that. But they're just harder now, and they cap you at level 30. So I can't actually level up higher than level 30.
Okay, because I went to bed before you finished up, and you were like level 29. Most of your characters at that point.
I basically farmed in the very last world. I farmed up until level 30. I was like, I'm gonna get to level 30, and then I'm gonna keep playing the game. But then I found that I wasn't earning any more XP after 30, so I was like,
you hit
this is
level
where you
cap.
cap it.
Nice.
So they capped it so that you wouldn't be too overpowered to fight the bosses all over again in the post game, and that there'll be still a challenge for you, which is cool.
Yeah.
But apparently, and I haven't gotten to this yet, I only fought the first boss again in the post game. But after apparently you get through all of them, you get to fight Kulex again in the 3D form.
Okay.
Because one of his wishes is to be 3D and more powerful, so that he would be more of a match for Mario.
Okay.
So he is apparently
Gay for Mario?
yes, and also the true final boss.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently.
That's crazy.
Apparently.
Well, I can't wait for you to get there because I want to witness this.
Yeah.
Good on you for busting through it. I could never get through that game.
Yeah, I'm not a JRPG person either.
No. I just like to turn my brain off and just like level up and farm sometimes.
That's fair.
Again, it took me back to like my Dragon Quest days when I was like in middle school and high school, and I didn't really have any other thing to do besides sit there and
Just sit there and just do shit.
and just
It's funny because
grind.
that was so I talk about how I don't like JRPGs, but yet I'm a huge Pokemon guy. And I've told y'all this is because like with Pokemon, there's much more to be into than just the JRPG elements. So the collection element is what I'm really in the Pokemon for. That's given away to me doing shiny hunting now. I can say that as a kid, because I just really liked Pokemon and I had nothing better to do, what that turned into was just running the Elite Four over and 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 over again.
I see where your name came from.
Yeah. Like just blitzing the Elite Four. And I basically did that all the way up through like the first 4 gens. I basically did that constantly, where it was like there was nothing really else to do. And I didn't even know the shinies existed until 4th gen, until I got my first shiny. And so I would just, there's nothing else to do, but I want to play Pokemon, so I guess I'll just keep leveling Pokemon up to level 100 in the Elite Four. Until about Gen 6 when I got into shiny hunting, and then that really just took over. But yeah, so I get it. I get the appeal of just grinding out and just doing battles and shit. As long as it's appealing and interesting to look at. Like I can see myself playing Mario RPG. Yeah, like the imagery of it all is interesting enough for me to continue playing it like that.
Yeah.
Or at least like there being a possibility of me playing it versus like most JRPGs, and I know I'll get crucified for saying this, but like I look at old Final Fantasy and I just have no interest in playing it. As cool of a series as it is, and I do recognize that it's fantastic, it's gorgeous, it is deserving of all of its accolades. Do not come from my neck in the comments. As a person who just doesn't care for JRPG elements, the first like 6 Final Fantasies are the epitome of why I don't care for JRPG.
So you think Final Fantasy's garbage?
Yes.
So you think Final Fantasy's hot garbage?
Honestly, I think it's one of the worst series to ever grace
Boo
the face.
this man!
I will be the villain today. Y'all leave me alone.
No, I understand because I
love Final Fantasy.
I sort of
Have you ever even played?
feel.
No.
Thought not.
I haven't touched it. I will never touch it.
I honestly sort of feel somewhat similar because when I did have a Final Fantasy game, I wasn't vibing with it as much. But then I got into Dragon Quest, and it's the kind of 3D state where it was more 3D-ish.
Okay, I know what you mean, yeah.
I don't know exactly when that happened for Final Fantasy, but on my DS, I think it was like Dragon Quest, what was it? Shoot, like 7?
I couldn't
8?
begin to tell you.
I don't know. It was on the DS. It was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. And
It's probably Dragon Quest DS, to be honest here.
It could be, honestly. But I don't know. The 3D just was appealing to me. And after that point, anything that was like 8-bit was kind of like, no. I want this. So I feel that too. And Final Fantasy was hard for me. It was hard. It was difficult.
If it makes anybody feel better, I refuse to touch the Gen 1 games in Pokemon anymore. Those games are not fun. And I for as much good as they did in introducing the Pokemon series, even though good is a relative term in the last like 10 years or so, for what they did for the franchise as obviously being the first ones, it is painful going back to play those games again. And I will be the first to admit it. Gen 1 was never my favorite gen to begin with. It was my favorite up until Gen 2 came around. And then like that kind of moved to being my favorite. And then Gen 3 happened. And that's basically been my favorite since. Like
Then Jenny happened.
God, I wish Jenny would happen again. I've never even known a Jenny. I know like 3 Jennifers. I've never even known the actual Jenny. But yeah, like the whole 8-bit and the movement style of that shit, like I don't have a nostalgia boner for it. I understand people that do. I understand people that do like that kind of old school shit, but it's like I have no interest in ever going back to a top down 2D view of a walk simulator for a bit. Calculator, yeah.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure.
if it makes y'all feel better, even in my own favorite series, I don't like that style of play. And I don't ever like when the Pokemon games came back around for the 3DS, and everybody was super excited about it. I was like, I get why y'all are excited. I'm just not excited. Like I have no interest in playing those games ever again.
Did it come back in like an
Feel
8-bit
Makes you
form?
feel like you're not.
No, they literally re-released the original Red, Blue, and Yellow
Oh, I see. Okay.
as and eventually Gold and Crystal as like literally they just emulated it on at the time 3DS. So this would have been about 7-8 years ago. They literally like put them out as emulations. You could rebuy the games. They obviously had like connectivity so you can like trade Pokemon into like up to the new games and shit. But you were just playing fucking 1996 as Pokemon Red. And you were just playing that on the 3DS. And I was like, look, if I really want to play Kanto that bad, I'll play Fire Red and Leaf Green. And then eventually with the Switch, we got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And I'm like, if I really need to play Kanto, I'm gonna play it that way. I'm not. I can't do a game where I have to walk at 8-bit speeds for like the first quarter of the game.
Ouch.
No thanks. I can't do that to myself anymore.
Yeah.
That's hurtful.
It's
I
very
don't like
hurtful.
that either.
Also, those games were made. I say this a lot. Those games, when you find out, like those games were made with like by like string twigs and the dreams of a dying child. Those games were built horribly,
Built different.
and they continue to build them horribly even up till now. And that's the reason that Pokemon cannot figure its shit out. But that's a conversation for a different time.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
this is like I watched you play a decent amount of Mario RPG. I was kind of in and out. Obviously, I didn't sit down and watch you play the whole time. But to see Collex at the end here is not a creature I expect.
Yeah. I didn't either. And honestly, I only saw the one on the right version of him. So when I was looking him up to get a picture of him, I saw the 3D version. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, was this like in a different game or something? And it's like, no, that's him in Mario RPG at the end of the game as a final. I was like, you find him again in this? Okay, I guess he's relevant.
More curvaceous.
They really should have. Look at the pose. Look at his pose in the 16-bit one. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all cowered it out.
Yeah, it's way more dynamic.
Y'all should have stuck it out.
It's like removing the link twink out.
Right? Man. And you said so the one on the right, he does show up in the original Mario RPG, or he does show up. Interesting.
Yep. So in the same way. His dialogue's different, obviously, because he doesn't say, "Whoa, you're a 3D person," right. But it's the same. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
That would be crazy. Because it's like the only thing I ever hear about from Mario RPG is that Geno, because everybody wanted Geno for Smash.
Yeah, after playing this game, I'm like, why Sakurai?
Why did you not give us Geno?
He's such a good character.
There's no good reason Sakurai didn't give us Geno. I don't give a fuck what that man says. That man is a national treasure, and that man will go down in history as one of the greatest to ever do it. But fuck you. What do you mean? What do you mean you couldn't create a good moveset for Geno? The hell are you talking about? Like,
I guess there is the argument of me Gunnar, but at the same time though,
so fucking me Swordsman and me Fighter are just the same. Like, they just pull moves from characters that are already on the roster. Like, me Fighter is just Little Mac. Little Mac is Little Mac I want to say Wii Fit Trainer and like one other melee character. And then me Swordsman is just like Link, Marth / Lucina, and maybe Roy, I think. Smash players know better than I would.
And Marth and Roy are the same.
And Marth and Roy are the same.
Slower than the other.
Exactly. Like
Lucina and Marth are.
Lucina is straight up Marth with a different hitbox, with just different hitboxes. So it's like bullshit. Anything about that me Gunner bullshit. But oh well.
Yeah, but no, this was the fun journey, honestly, and I may get shot in the comments for saying this, but I would like to see Nintendo do a remake of more Mario RPGs. That would be cool, or at the very least, a port. I really want to play.
I think that's a pretty popular opinion.
Well, I think there's already quite a few ports, isn't there?
For the Switch specifically, I guess is what I'm saying.
Did you play how many games?
Are you talking about with like the online service?
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are available yet.
Okay.
I think Paper Mario might be.
Maybe Paper Mario. Maybe. I guess I didn't consider Paper Mario.
Super Paper Mario might be on there. I think there's not a lot.
Oh, this is the second classic time they've redone a classic Nintendo piece. The first one I think they did it with was that Link.
Yeah.
The little Link one, which I hated. But
really.
Oh yeah, I didn't like when I say
hot take in.
Whoa, you talking Link's Awakening?
Yeah,
the little claymation.
Yeah. Absolutely adorable art style. Absolutely adorable, but just the old gameplay is not for me.
That's fair.
It's just not for me.
That's fair. I had fun with it. I enjoyed those games enough that sitting through it is fine for me. But it's that exact same problem, right? Well,
the puzzle logic is so foreign to me that I get stuck on the smallest shit. Right? I get stuck on the littlest thing, and then I have to look it up, and then I'm like, what?
That was me with every Zelda game, which is why I really don't touch it.
That's really interesting to hear, actually. Because, like, for me, well, clearly, like, DX was... So, Link's Awakening DX was a Game Boy Color game I had. One of the main Game Boy Color games I played besides Pokemon. So, like, I came in with, like, just knowing how to get through that game for the most part. It's interesting to hear the puzzle design was so foreign to you. Because to me, Zelda is what created dungeon puzzle design, in my opinion. But I'm wondering, are you saying that in reference to like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom?
Well, see, I liked Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and so I got that. And I started playing it, and I started being like, oh, this reminds me of when I hated games as a child.
Your introduction to Zelda was Tears of the Kingdom? Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That makes more sense. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Maybe I should like give it another chance, or like sit down and try to like
figure
out like what the rules it applies to itself are.
I
and, like,
think
how
I
that
said
logic
this.
Works.
I think I said this to Kent. If you want to try and get into the older Zelda games, the way to do that is through Ocarina of Time. Play Ocarina of Time first, because that will teach you. One. That is the best way to figure out what Zelda is about. And I know this because I hated the Zelda series initially. I know this because I hated the Zelda series initially because my first foray into it was Oracle of Ages and Seasons, the two other Game Boy Color games. I would call them the true Game Boy Color games. They were actually designed for Game Boy Color, whereas Link's Awakening was originally a Game Boy game. They got re-released as Link's Awakening DX on the Game Boy Color. And when I tried those games, exact same problem. It's one of those. It wasn't the dungeons for me that tripped me up. It was almost in every one of the handheld games. After the third dungeon, there would be a puzzle element to the overworld map that you had to figure out, like how to get. Like you would know where you need to go, but their path would be blocked off, and you had to figure out. And usually, it's how it introduced you to stuff like side quests, trading quests, all that fun shit. Tripped me up when I was a kid. Hated the series because of it. It was I played Ocarina of Time because it was when Wind Waker was coming out. My brother had a GameCube. He had the little master collection that came with Ocarina of Time, Master Quest, Majora's Mask, and a 20-minute demo of Wind Waker. And that was my first time getting to play Ocarina of Time. And Ocarina of Time does a really good job of clicking everything for you. So if you want to get into the Zelda series, I recommend playing Ocarina of Time first. And then if that will give you your best barometer if it's going to be for you or not. Because if Ocarina of Time is not for you, none of the Game Boy games are going to be for you. I can pretty much guarantee that none of those Game Boy games are going to be for you. Including even like Link's Awakening DX, the remake. Like that style is just not going to be for you. Because if you can't, because you're dealing with something that's top down 2D 8-bit and dealing with the puzzle design that is pretty old school in its like design and thinking. Like predates you old.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty old. I was like, I might have been like 3 when Link's Awakening first came out. Obviously I was a little bit older when when DX came out. But yeah, it's an old style of dungeon setup and puzzle design. So maybe in the future we'll hear about Fluff playing through Ocarina of Time and we'll see what your thoughts are on that.
Don't count on it.
Don't count on it. That's okay.
Something I'm interested in, but like many things I'm interested in, it could take years.
It will fall through the wayside.
Yeah.
All right, that diatribe about Zelda over because Mario RPG is fucking nutty. It shouldn't shock me that much to see Collex because in Mario Odyssey, you get the fucking dragon. Excuse me. You get the dragon you have to fight. You remember that?
Yeah.
That random weird ass realistic
the different art
dragon.
Style for that. Yeah.
And Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh yeah, and the T-Rex at the beginning of the game. And another one that comes up.
They've been kind of
there's a second one in Woodland, or the Wood Factory world, where in the underworld there, the Underdark, there's like another T-Rex down there too.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
And it's like, this is just random ass realistic T-Rex was kind of like funny, but then like that dragon comes out of nowhere, and it's like, when did Kamiya fucking get? Like someone just let Kamiya loose in Nintendo for a day. And he created a Bayonetta boss fight.
Yeah, they've been mashing art styles apparently since back in Mario RPG. So.
Yeah. Let's do No Straight Roads, and then we'll end off with the One Piece bit.
Yeah. So, No Straight Roads, this game's been out for like 3 or 4 years. It's a really, really cool, fun rhythm game. It's more like the enemies attack you and do stuff to the rhythm, and you can kind of, take that however you want. But the characters are super charming. The art style is really, really cool. The music is phenomenal. And it is a co-op game. I played it once on the Switch myself, and I'm currently taking my fiance through it right now. We're co-oping it together. And that's a whole different game.
Okay.
But it's again, phenomenal soundtrack, charming characters. The story's interesting. Basically, you're these two characters. One of them's a guitar player. One of them's like a drummer, and you're basically trying to bring rock back into a city that's just being controlled by these leaders who play EDM and make EDM music. So you're trying to bring rock back into an EDM filled
Which
world.
is crazy because I wouldn't be against an EDM world.
Right. And that's the thing. The artists are all like, oh yeah, we're not biased towards any of them. We like both rock and EDM. We just wanted to make a story with both of them in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But again, really great stuff. But your experience will vary depending on what you play it on. Because apparently they're porting the PC version to other consoles and devices. So the PC version is probably the most stable version of the game that you'll have. If you play on anything else, you're probably going to run into a lot of glitches, a lot of game breaking like problems and black screens and models popping in and out, characters, getting off sync with the dialogue.
Aww.
It's a lot of weird stuff.
Okay.
My first play around on the Switch, I really had very minor problems until I got to the very end where there was some weird stuff with the final boss, and then there was some weird syncing issues.
Okay.
But trying to play co-op on the Switch,
Probably not a great time.
nearly impossible. It is terrible. I do not like it. And I recommended this game so much. I was like, oh, we're going to have a lot of fun. The music's phenomenal. The characters are fun. Story's interesting. And it just totally ruined the experience for us, honestly. But I downloaded it on the PS5, the PS4 version of the PS5. And so we're going to play it on that, and hopefully that's a little better experience for us. But because we don't really want to play through the computer, we just kind of want to have a different experience there.
I figured you just grab an HDMI and run it through your...
Could do that too, but lazy. Yeah, that's what it is.
That would be running a lot of cables, but
yeah.
man, that is.
But
you talking about it, I'm so glad I bought it on Steam.
I'm glad you did too, because that's why I was like, "What did you buy it on?"
Steam.
Yes. So yeah, highly recommend you check it out. It run, I think, quite a few, best music and sound awards and stuff like that. It made an Unreal Engine, so another cool thing. Came out in like 2018, 2019 or something around that. So it's been around for a while, like 6 years.
I think it got announced, but it came out 2021.
This version of it did.
Oh, okay.
This is deluxe edition, if you will.
Okay.
That released Christmas versions of all of the boss music, which is actually really good.
Nice.
And some alternate versions of like remixes and stuff of the music as well. But the original dropped in like 2019.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun when it's not breaking
Fair.
and causing problems.
Oh, shocking. Things on the Switch don't run as well as they do if they're originally built for PC.
Yeah, but the people behind this, though, is a lead game... Yeah, right there. A lead game designer for Final Fantasy 15.
15.
And one of the concept artists of Street Fighter 5.
No shot.
Yeah. And they created this company that made this game. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy because both of those games came out well after. No, I don't know when Street Fighter 5 came out, but 15 came out after. What's going on? I mean, I guess technically he could start the company.
Yeah, I was like, maybe they were working in tandem or something, but
Multiple jabs.
No.
Usually they
No. Final Fantasy 15 did come out that long ago. It has been that long since that game came out. I think that game came out like...
We're dating ourselves.
2017?
I graduated in 2016.
Okay, yeah. I remember because one of my favorite streamers, he was still streaming at the time when Final Fantasy 15 came out because he played through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And then I remember it's been a minute. Also, COVID's not helping. Like, the fucking
Overall,
years we
shit.
lost on that shit is making it very difficult to landmark stuff in my head.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Fair
I still think back to 2019 and feel like that was like 2 years ago.
Fair enough.
That's not that far off, but
That's fair.
It really isn't that far off, but it feels much closer than it actually is.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But no,
But
shit,
yeah.
that's
It's,
cool.
And maybe this is the case of like the soundtrack really makes the game way better than it has any right to be.
Oh, okay.
But like there's like 3 or 4 of the soundtrack songs that were in my Spotify, what is it, the Wrapped,
Yeah.
You
And
fucking nerd.
and it continues all them like
It's fucking
continue
good
to
music.
show up in the Wrapped because it's just so good. It's just so good.
Reading this makes me feel like you're gonna have a much better time on the PS4.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Switch.
no.
It looks like it was built for PS4.
Yeah, it was. And like I said, they pretty much ported the very first, essentially the first version or build of the game to the Switch. That's what I read on Reddit.
Okay.
That like the version of the Switch is a very early version, and the ones on PS4 and PC and Xbox are newer versions.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I don't know how true that is. But if you test it on each one of those devices, you can tell that something happened.
Okay.
Something happened.
No Straight Roads will be released early 2020. I wonder if that's still true.
Okay, so it dropped 2020, but it started. They were probably in beta or
I was
something.
gonna say,
like
I want to say
that in
they put
19.
out, like, there was definitely early release stuff going on.
Yeah, but no, it's been winning awards. They've been dropping more music and stuff for it. They're still promoting this. I don't know if they're working on anything new.
Mm-hmm.
I've just recently checked their socials to see if they've been currently posting stuff, and they are. They're still posting stuff about this game, and they just recently did like a 6-year anniversary celebration thing for the company with Mayday and Zook, the main characters, kind of doing a cool pose and stuff. So they're very active still around this game, and this game is still getting a lot of praise and plays. So
Yeah, I definitely got to play it. I've been sitting on this one for a while.
yeah, no, definitely
To the point,
recommend this game.
honestly, going back to play it, I might go back and buy the Encore edition. It's just because I haven't played. Because I bought it back when it first came out. And just kind of sat on it and haven't touched it since it got put in my library.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you can't get the Encore edition, I don't think, on the Switch. I could be wrong.
I don't want it on the Switch. I want it on
Well,
Steam.
I know, but what I'm saying is I don't have that, I don't think, on the
okay.
Switch. So I got the Encore edition on the PlayStation. So we should be able to, have some fun with that and play some, different versions of the tracks. So Christmas, like they got all the characters dressed up as like Christmas stuff if you toggle that on. And
Nice.
I don't know, just fun little stuff.
I was looking at the No Straight
the
Roads
sound-
Plus soundtrack bundle. I thought it was just the soundtrack and it was $30. I was like,
That's nuts. Yeah, no. But you can buy the soundtrack for $10. Yeah, no, I definitely got to play that. So
Yeah,
hopefully
definitely
that's gonna
recommend
go
it.
for you guys.
If you're gonna play it, get it. Honestly, get it for the PC. If you have to, get it for the PlayStation. If you really have to, get it for the Xbox. Don't get it for Switch. Just don't do it.
Unless you're playing alone, I guess. But we'll see.
Yeah, but even then, there's
Even
still
then,
some
it's
weird
not
stuff.
worth it.
It's not worth
There's
it.
a lot of avenues. Did you want to talk about Hi-Fi Rush or
That was just a quick thing saying that this is a game that people kind of were like, if you didn't like No Straight Roads because of some weird stuff happening, or like you didn't like how the battle system was with the enemies only following the rhythm, in this game you attack with the rhythm and the enemies follow. Like everything is around the rhythm. Everything is. You have to be. And I've been interested in playing this for a good while. So this is like the next one that I'm probably gonna tackle.
everything I heard about Hi-Fi Rush. I wanted it just from the concept alone, but after it dropped and I was listening to like reviews and people talking about it, it was like, oh yeah, this game is every bit as good as it looks. It earned that overwhelmingly positive review score.
Yeah.
So for a game that basically shadow dropped, like that's the
Honestly.
funnier bit. This came out this year?
Yeah.
How long was this fucking year? Jesus Christ. I could have sworn this game came out like 2 years ago. Oh my god!
I think that's again. It could be like the most recent update, but I doubt it. That feels
I think
correct.
this is base Hi-Fi Rush
That feels correct
because there's a deluxe edition, but this is the base Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's what I'm planning to tackle next. I don't know when, but I really want to play that.
We'll see if I get to it first, baby. All right. Hi-Fi Rush. I think we both want to do it. It has a ton of accolades. One of us will get to it, and we'll talk about it here. So the final thing to talk about, and this is the piece I really want to get to.
So finally, after all this time, the creator of the One Piece manga dropped the information that we're finally getting an anime adaptation of the manga. Isn't that great?
Wait. You mean...
But it's a remake.
And that's the bit.
So, the original anime isn't done yet, but Oda announced that they're going to be redoing the anime from the beginning all the way through with a different studio. Not Toei Animation, but with the same animation company that is making Spy X Family and the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan.
Nice.
So, I don't know.
Spy
X Family is excellent.
Yeah, no, the Spy X Family is great, and Attack on Titan is great.
It's great.
But it's like...
They're very different ends of the spectrum.
Did Dom say is excellent or isn't excellent?
Is. Oh, I love Spy X Family.
It is a great
He's the
series.
reason I watch Spy X Family.
Yeah, Spy X Family, I stand Spy X Family.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Attack on Titan was very technically marvelous, whatever you feel about the story.
Yeah, I was reading Spy X Family well before the anime came out. When they announced the anime, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But it's like, thinking about both of those things, they're so like... I guess they're not like dynamically different, but they are very different ends of like animation styles. That it's like... Well, so you initially told me this earlier. Surprise, not everything is brand new on this podcast. You told me about this earlier, and you like when you told me the 2 projects they did, I was kind of like, you said Attack on Titan first,
Yeah,
and I was like, Attack on Titan's like pretty decent animation, especially those first few seasons. I don't know if that's really like a style for One Piece. And then you said Spy X Family, and I was like, okay, I can see that a bit better. That's still not as like, even Spy X Family or Spy Family, however you pronounce it, is still not as whimsical as One Piece is. But just thinking about that range of styles kind of makes me go, okay, I'm certain like if the studio can pull off both of those ends, I'm sure they can like fit One Piece in there somehow. So it'll be...
Netflix really wants you to treat it as a legit anime producer, and...
Yeah. So that's the other bit. It's
about
the Netflix part of this.
And that's what everybody is worried about right now, because everybody knows, like, okay, this studio can do good shit. Like, we're probably going to see amazing animation where we have no doubts. But it's the fact that Netflix is also on the boat.
It's like...
And hosting.
There's one part of Netflix, like, getting that Netflix money is nothing but positive. Like, having Netflix levels of money to produce a thing, that'd be pretty great. The problem is, at least for me personally, is not even so much Netflix overreach. They seem to be pretty good about letting you kind of do your thing. You just make sure it's a popular bit. Like what ruined, I say ruined, but what messed up the Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation was the writing team and the director. Like they made weird decisions about it. The things that, the positive things about like One Piece, the live action One Piece, is what they did with it. It doesn't really seem like Netflix is too... It seems like Netflix is pretty good about keeping their hand off of stuff. I say that as someone who has not looked super deep into how Netflix runs and how these things come together.
If we look at specifically the animated section of Netflix that they have done, if we look at Beastars, we look at, I forget what it was called, but the weird alligator head with the guy inside of him.
Sorry, say that one more time.
I said the weird alligator guy with the weird alligator head with the guy inside of him.
Because I heard Weird Al. And I was like, Weird Al Yankovic?
Weird alligator
Weird
guy.
alligator guy with the
If
head
you don't know what
inside.
I'm talking about immediately, you've never watched it.
Never
Yeah,
watched it,
no.
never even heard of it.
Andrew, friend of the show from college, fucking loved it. And I thought it was pretty good. But basically, I bring up. I bring up Scissor 7. I bring up the Castlevania series.
Yeah, Castlevania's pretty good.
Um,
Arcane, or no, was that Amazon?
Arcane is Netflix.
Yeah.
Arcane is Netflix. No, Vox Machina is Amazon.
Vox Machina is Amazon.
But yeah,
Vox
Arcane.
Machina came through Titmouse.
I think
Well, that's not anime. Never mind.
the game that was super broken on release, Cyberpunk. I
Stone
wanna say
Ocean.
That's on
JoJo.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Netflix as well. Each one of those, I think, was really strong.
Yeah. So that's my thing. A lot of those, I feel like they have really strong contenders for for Netflix. The thing that worries me about Netflix is their propensity to cancel stuff. And we're talking One Piece here.
There are still ongoing. They're right now about 1,080, almost 90 episodes now of the anime, and it's still
When did
ongoing.
One Piece start coming out?
I want to say
1999.
Are you talking anime or manga?
Anime.
99. Manga, I think, was 97, and anime 99, I believe.
Is the alligator-headed anime Doro?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that one.
Manga since 97, and then I'm pretty sure anime is
With
99.
its individuals compiled in 107.
Yeah, One Piece is what, 1999 TV series.
Yeah. It's been going on a while.
It's a year younger than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So some of those animations, older animations, they've updated them, but it kind of makes sense for them to get a bit of a revamp.
it does.
Going with a different studio and going with Netflix is a choice.
Going with a different studio, I personally think it's fine. I think that's fine depending on his list, whether or not they're going to be realistic, and as long as you're not fucking over other artists who've been working on this for a while now. But that's going to be politics that we'll have to find out more about later on, probably after it drops and we hear about a bunch of horrible shit that went on behind the scenes when we are trying to enjoy it.
Yeah.
The thing about One Piece, Netflix, and to get back to what I said is just like their propensity to cancel shit is. It makes it kind of weird to hear about them tackling, or at least even tackling One Piece anime remake.
Yeah.
Because you were telling me, I don't think there's a lot of details known about it yet, or whether it's going to be like a Dragon Ball Kai situation where they're like stripping out all filler, streamlining the story.
There isn't a lot of
make it a little
detail
more-
at the time of this recording. There isn't a lot of details released about it, but everybody is basically like, oh, they have to be because they're redoing this, and Oda's behind it, and
Right.
we all know the problems with One Piece, and it's the problems when it started, right?
Yeah.
A lot of filler because the anime caught up to the manga, but the anime needed time for the manga to
For
do
another
stuff,
manga
so they
chapter,
added
that
filler and all this stuff.
I would kill somebody for a streamlined One Piece.
That's what I would love. And there are resources online. There's literally a website called One.
Oh, I think I downloaded some of those episodes actually.
Did you?
I forgot what it's called though, but yeah, I know.
Basically, it's a website that literally gives you a guide on how to watch One Piece, and in the most efficient way possible.
Like skip the filler episode.
Pretty much,
Yeah, but it's like they are redoing everything. Animation, the stories. I hope they stay true to the story, but everybody's suspecting that they're going to cut out all the filler, the stuff that's actually filler. They're going to keep important stuff. Oda's still going to be there, but they're suspecting that, a lot of the stuff that didn't need to be there won't be there. And the stuff that can be expedited will be expedited. There's
But
not
this
going
is
to be
all speculation at this point. correct?
all speculation. All speculation. I honestly hope that whatever comes out of this is going to be a better version of One Piece.
Yeah.
And for me, that looks like, cutting out a lot of the stuff. Like, there's like 80 times that we see like the same flashback, 80 times that we see like a singular shot last for like 5 minutes. Not exactly, but like 10 seconds of like the same frame.
No, I know what you mean.
A little longer than it really needs
They really are trying to squeeze that airtime.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
I don't need to go back and watch a single fight last 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yes, and like some of these arcs are ridiculous. Like they do not have to be that long, guys. Come on. So,
because I'll tell you right now, a streamlined version of One Piece is made for people like fucking me.
and that's what Oda wants to do. He wants to.
Wait, but who is it for if they're fucking you?
Got him. Yeah, quiet now.
You know, I wasn't expecting you to be the dad joke guy. Oh man,
but like that's been Oda's like mission for the past 5 years plus, is to get One Piece to as many people as possible. Live action, he succeeded with that and got a lot of people who wouldn't touch the anime to at least feel the live action, and a lot of those people were like, okay, let me give the anime a try, and are finding that people are liking the anime now because of the live action.
Literally, the only reason I haven't watched the anime is because apparently I just didn't have the foresight as a 14-year-old to watch all the episodes that were airing at the time, so that when I get to being 31 years old and we're now 1,500 episodes in, I don't feel like I have to play catch up.
Don't be a bitch. It's not that big a deal.
Yes, says the guy who plays this shit at fucking 2 times the speed and skips through it.
I didn't have to go for him like that.
I watched how you watch Naruto and Dragon Ball, and it fucking hurt me every time.
Dang.
Like some shit just isn't important.
That's wild.
I will give you that for Dragon Ball. I'm not giving, no, not even Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. I'm not giving you that one for Naruto. But it's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna rewatch Naruto at some point because I don't remember shit.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. I still gotta watch Boruto, and I don't know.
I
know I don't have to.
They don't.
I know.
I know. That's a can of worms. Sort of.
We'll get into someday.
Boruto. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Well, I heard. Never mind. We can talk about that later.
It's still going, and there's still like a lot of crazy ass updates going on. Well, I say crazy ass, like it's more like we start everything I hear about Boruto and everything I see about Boruto was like, we started this new series that's supposed to be about the next generation of Naruto, realized that none of them are really that interesting and people still want to hear about the old Naruto gang, and now we've kind of stretched them as thin as we possibly can without making them ultra overpowered, and so now we got to get rid of them so that we can actually focus on the new generation.
Yeah, all I'll say about Boruto right now, that's a good summary actually. All I'll say about it is, new generation, let's nerf the old generation and make them irrelevant and bring in the new generation, and the manga's popping off right now apparently, and the anime is on basically the whatever the time of the time skip. It's basically on time skip time.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like what has happened? So the original pilot for Boruto was written. I should know their name.
We're getting into it this episode.
The writer that was responsible for Naruto.
I should too, and I'm so mad I can't remember his name right now. Kishimoto.
Kishimoto wrote the initial pitch for Boruto, which is, I forget the exact details, but it's like Sakura trying to connect with her dad. It's not Sakura. Her name is
Sarada.
Yeah,
Sarada.
Sarada is trying to connect with her dad, who's like, this wanderer figure, and it's like about their relationship, and it's really compelling, and you see character growth from Sarada, you see character growth from Boruto, you see like a lot of really, like, it's a really interesting little micro story, and then he kind of hands it off.
Yep, I know.
Here's the baby, don't drop it.
Here's the baby, don't drop it. And they say, that's a pretty cool baby. What if I just fucking punted it to the ground?
Yeah.
You know that cool character development you did? Well, none of that fucking exists anymore. We're just going to start from scratch doing our own fucking thing. And, like,
What
and
if we
ran with it.
What if we try to use all the same tropes from the original Naruto series, but with none of the stakes?
Yeah. Boruto the movie was good. That was good.
Okay.
And that kind of encompasses like the first 50 episodes, I think.
Okay.
Which gives you a good, push into Boruto, and that hyped people up. But then that handoff happens and let people down.
And then shit got so bad. Kishimoto came out of retirement.
Yeah, to take over again.
So if shit's popping up in the manga right now, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I heard too. So my whole summation of it literally comes from Korra. Because as I'll scroll through Korra, it's kind of like I used to be really into like Naruto, like what would happen if this character got the Sharingan? What would happen if this character never lost the Sharingan? What would happen if this character had this jutsu? Whatever, like kind of conversations. So eventually, obviously, that rubs up against Boruto pretty quickly. Literally knowing nothing about Boruto and then reading the post about Boruto was always a fun time.
Yeah.
And literally, like my summation of it comes from just how people talk about Boruto. And they're like, these are the problems with Boruto, and apparently it's the whole premise of Boruto.
Well, like if you want to tell a compelling story about these kids, right? You really have to figure out a way to get the old guard out of the way creatively, but you also I'm not gonna pretend like that's an easy fucking thing to do.
It definitely. Did he just bark? Or did I just hear something echo from up there? Whatever.
I think it was echo.
Okay.
Probably echo.
It seems like to me the biggest problem is. So, Avatar had a little bit of this problem. The Last Airbender, technically, Legend of Korra, had a little bit of this. Of you still have the old guard present. But at least you're like 100 years in the future from that shit.
Well, you're so far removed that only a couple of them are still alive. They're all in retirement.
It makes sense why Katara isn't doing shit. It makes sense why you're not seeing Sokka or Aang. It makes sense why Toph still gets to be a badass.
Everybody wants to continue to
see those. Well, the thing is that there's that, and so there's that, and then it's like with everything so far in the future, of course the story's going to be about a new cast of characters. Boruto takes place. There's a time skip, but not enough.
No,
it is in the prime of Naruto's life.
Literally in the prime of Naruto and Sasuke being the strongest they've ever fucking been. They're not in a, and we see how long people can live in that series. You've seen Inoki, like people can live a long fucking time. Naruto and Sasuke being like fucking 30, 35 are not old enough to be aging out of prime at that point.
Yeah, Naruto's functioning as the Hokage.
Yeah,
Sasuke's which what he wanted the entire time.
Which
Naruto.
Someone pointed this out, and I don't give a fuck about this being spoilers. Someone pointed this out, how fucked up it is. In the episode where he gets his coronation, it's not even Naruto. Because Naruto gets knocked out by Himawari.
Yep.
Like, so Naruto doesn't even get to be at his own what do they call it? I said coronation. It's not a crowning.
But it's the appointment.
The appointment, like his appointment to being Hokage, like the official like celebration of it.
Yeah.
It's like you finally becoming the president and winning the president, and then getting knocked out by your daughter and missing the January 6th fucking like parade and all that bullshit, to the point that someone else dresses up like you. Like Konohamaru has to do a disguise jutsu and is Naruto, and people pointed that out, and I hadn't even thought, because I saw that because that episode is like the final episode of the original Naruto series, and people pointed that out, and I hadn't even thought about it.
That's such a dumb decision.
That's such a bullshit decision.
That became a meme actually with Naruto, because it's like people kept posting a picture of that moment, and it's like who is this, and wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only.
And people are like, oh, that's Konohamaru, and people are like, what?
Yeah, no, that's Naruto's dad.
Naruto's dad. Yeah.
That's Boruto's dad.
Boruto's dad. Yeah.
That's Burrito's father. Yeah, no, like I hadn't thought about it until like people brought it up, and I was like, oh, that is really bullshit. Like that's the one dream Naruto had. The whole anime.
They kind of hold him. They
hold him right at the end because his daughter punched him in the nuts.
Yeah,
and that's literally the reason he doesn't show up to his own inauguration.
Yeah, like like I said, like Boruto.
That's
the movie,
so silly. That's just like Naruto.
Of course.
It's like, ooh, that is a bad introduction to your new cast of characters.
Right. But no, like the Boruto the movie and the first like 50 episodes of Boruto, if you want to watch that many episodes of Boruto versus watching the movie, is fine. And I think they do a pretty good job with Naruto during that time because it shows him in that role, kind of being that, Hokage that he wanted to be for the other 500 episodes of Naruto previously.
Right.
He was kicking ass at it.
Yeah. And everything else about the show is just not great after that.
I've heard
that it's not worth it.
The fucking enemy scaling is very weird because it's not. And in fairness, this was actually pre-Boruto of the show not even being about ninjas anymore. And that show does stop being about ninjas. It starts being about aliens and gods and alien gods. And now it's about like cyborgs, which is a weird thing to bring it back to.
Which you don't have to do.
Yeah. The thing about Boruto is it's like ushering in a new age of, ways of doing things in the ninja world. First, before it was like, hand signs and all this ninjutsu, which is cool.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to be like, okay, but now the new thing is ninja tools. So you're trying to learn about technology and how technology can enhance the ninjutsu that you know and use and have an innate power of. How can we use technology to enhance that?
And then Momoshiki shows up.
Yeah, and then God.
And then God show up again. It's like Momoshiki shows up and now we're back to the Otsutsuki. Okay. And it turns out they're not the big bads. Here's Jigen. Jigen. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
That's one of them.
So here's now another Otsutsuki who's even more powerful and like the karma seals and all that bullshit. So now it's like not even about like ninja magic. It's now about like god magic, and either you have it or you fucking don't.
Yeah, it's another eye jutsu.
Yeah, there's the ocular jutsu, and then there's quite literally like the karma seals and like the ability to create basically new tiers of jutsu that completely invalidate if you're not Kawaki or Boruto at this point, you may as well not exist. GG. There's not really much to be done here
because the lore that they established at the end of Naruto, which again, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't really even supposed to happen.
It wasn't, no.
Yeah, the whole Otsutsuki thing was kind of pulled out of their fucking asses right at the end.
Right, and it was supposed to be Madara was like your big bad the whole time, which makes sense. And they established like the Otsutsuki were the aliens that created this ninjutsu. So it's like if you're bringing in these aliens as actual enemies and fiends of the series, anything's possible.
The fucked up part is they became such a big proponent of the story going forward, and I will say I might be wrong about this, I might be misremembering, but the Otsutsuki were created out of a filler. Quite literally they were created for a filler episode so that they literally paused the Great Ninja War because obviously you have to catch up to the manga. Well, we caught up to the manga. What do? Well, let's start creating shit. And so let's explore the origins of some of this shit. And so you start getting down the Hagoromo and his brother, the Ashura and Indra shit. And you start moving back to when Kaguya first comes to the world and when she first has the son. So you get all of the origin of ninjutsu, chakra, the whole reincarnation cycle of Naruto and Sasuke, which is a whole different fucking thing to talk about. And all of that stuff came out of a filler arc and then became super important. There's that's why people point out seeing fucking or at the very least, even if you don't want to consider it filler, it's non-manga canon. It's only it's anime only apparently. Because it's going stuff the fourth Hokage is the one who created the Rasengan, and then you have Ashura using fucking gigantic Rasengans in Kurama Avatar mode or whatever the fuck he was using at the time, and is stuff like Sasuke or whoever the fuck creating Amaterasu. And nope, that's being used by some. Like, you literally get these characters who in the past are just Naruto and Sasuke over and over and over again, because apparently that's just how it works. And that's why that shit happens, is because that was all made the fuck up just for filler, and then it became an integral part of the fucking story. So yeah, like, you wind up with actually Black Zetsu has been a double agent the whole time and stabs Madara in the back, and that's why we get Kaguya right at the end, Rabbit Goddess, whatever the fuck. And yeah, and now it's like just it's in the Dragon Ball death spiral of, it actually follows Dragon Ball pretty much to a T in that power scale death spiral, because it's like, it's humans with kind of weird powers doing human power shit, just using ki. And then it's actually aliens. And then it's like, actually more aliens, stronger aliens. Your new threat is back on Earth, and they're cyborgs, actually. Like, it straight up follows that arc all over again.
Maybe over the holidays, I might take some time and crunch Boruto. Because this makes me kind of want to see if they're actually able to save their own asses.
It's towards the end of what Boruto is at right now.
Yeah, specifically.
Okay. Oh, the manga? Okay, yeah. Definitely read the manga. Honestly, I hear it's better.
Much better.
But if you wanted to watch the anime, it's like 200 episodes or something like that right now.
Yeah,
250, I don't know, something like that.
That's not that much.
No, towards the end of it,
it really is.
All
When
right.
you cut it down to a fucking third, yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
We've watched One Piece.
Fair, y'all have.
I
y'all
am
have
caught
watched
up
One Piece.
entirely on the entire Critical Role compendium. All right,
That
I'm allowed
too.
to say that One Piece is
not.
piss shit. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, there's literally, I'm pretty sure. at this point
Compare
where-
like episode wise. Okay,
Yeah.
probably.
Actually, yeah,
probably,
fair enough,
probably.
fair enough. Because what, One Piece, does it follow the 30-minute format? The 22-minute format?
Yeah, like 22
Per episode?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. I'll give you that.
You're right.
You're right. The slap was justified.
and because you binge a lot of things, so like you are definitely the binge master here.
True.
When it comes to like
Mr. Sat in my car for an hour.
I had
Catching
I
up on TikToks.
was on a mission.
that was
Oh,
wild.
man.
At some point, I was like, my car's been running for a while. I'm just been sitting here, so I just turned it off. Then 30 minutes later, I was like, oh, it's getting a little cold. And then you called me.
Yeah, like I got the notification. I was out getting like a couple groceries for myself. I see a notification. Oh, Fluff's home. He unlocked the door. Cool. And that was 20 minutes before I got there, and you were still in your car. And I was like, oh, maybe he's like, I don't know, reading something. I was like, okay, he'll probably be out in a minute. And I go in and play Mario RPG. And
I come upstairs
Ruben,
at that point, and I didn't even clock that you were here.
And that was after 30 minutes of me
Yeah.
playing Mario RPG.
You mentioned that he's actually outside.
Yeah.
I think I was like, where is Fluff? Is he okay? You were like, oh yeah, no, he's outside.
Well, I had assumed at first that you had maybe driven off because maybe you had to do something else. I was like, there's no way he would just be out there this whole time.
I go to
That would be crackhead behavior.
I go to the window and I look down. I see your car completely off. You head on fist looking down. I was like, this bitch is reading comics.
And I was like, what?
I was like, he's sitting out there reading. Like I assumed you were reading comics at the
Of
time.
which, let's be honest.
You would have been doing.
That's a completely normal assumption for me. That would be on brand.
That will be absolutely on brand for you.
You're like,
So-
his car is off.
So I was like, let me call this bitch.
I was like,
Because at
in
that
the
time,
cold
you was like, he's
reading?
been there for a while. And I assumed, you were like, I think you said 30 minutes. So I assumed it was like, it's probably been something.
Yeah, because I was like, oh,
25.
since I sat down, he's been there.
I was like, okay.
I was
like,
not thinking to add the extra 20 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, you bitch, you've been out there for like 25 minutes. What are you doing? Kent was like, it's probably more like 40. You were like, well, actually, more accurately, it's probly been like 50 minutes.
And then I was like, oh, yeah. I also
Oh,
had a
yeah, he's been there
notification.
like 20 minutes before I pulled up. And I was like, I remember when you pulled up. What the fuck do you mean he's been there for like 20 minutes before that?
I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I was like, Fluff, come inside.
Get warm.
Oh,
please.
man. I was like, oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, man.
But yeah.
But yeah, Boruto,
The One Piece.
If you do, let me know. If you do crunch that, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Boruto series.
I will crunch it. I'll make that my mission. We can crunch it, and probably not next episode, but maybe the episode after we can talk about it.
Because like part of me like wants to feel like, God, you're warm.
Always.
Yeah.
Only for you, BB.
Fucking no, Jesus Christ. Like part of me wants to feel like maybe it's not that bad when you don't factor in. That's what I was getting to. The problem
if you consider it on its own
merit, like the problem is that it's so close to the Naruto cast that the biggest problem that they had was that they kept writing themselves in a situation. And once again, to bring it back to Dragon Ball, they had the same Dragon Ball Z issue of no matter how many times they tried, like Dragon Ball tries to get away from Goku and Vegeta, it always comes back to Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah.
And you were having that issue with Boruto of no matter how hard we try to get away from Naruto and Sasuke, they're your god characters. Like they have to come in and save the day because our enemy scaling, we can't bring the enemy scale back down to match the kids anymore because that wouldn't make any fucking sense.
Well,
and
I totally would.
I guess the thing is because when I say bring it back down to match the kids, I'm talking like the threats that Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura faced in the original, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't do that again because at the point is like, what is Naruto and Sasuke doing?
Yeah.
Why are they not taking care of this?
Well, because Naruto and Sasuke don't have to do, the Hokage is Hokage. There's a reason you have different kinds of level. There's a reason that the Hokage wasn't doing the mission.
I was going to say, there's reasons Hiruzen didn't go do shit in the original Naruto. Because, he doesn't.
They were doing that fight on the bridge. Why isn't the Hokage there? No one's going to fucking ask that question. That's a stupid question.
In a world where your Hokage is a literal god, a walking nuke, and can create thousands of himself, the question does kind of become...
Demon on top of that, too, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the fox. Well, that's the god character in him. That basically what turns him into the god and the nuke, more or less. Because Kyuubi stopped being a demon, by the way. That was you can see from the beginning of that story to the progression to the end of Kishimoto started with the demon fox, and that's the only concept he had for the tail beast. And then it grew into something it was kind of unexpected. I like the direction it went into. I like the idea of the 9-tailed beasts and then the 10 tails and all that fun shit. Mm-hmm. But it's very clear that that's not what it started out as, and it was kind of figured out on the way. Yeah. And there's a few things in the series that are kind of like that. Same with the villain scaling.
Yeah. Well, my point is, even if he could be there the whole time, you could go the My Hero Academia route, right? Where you're creating situations. You could have it be a drama, exist entirely within Ninja School.
Yeah, that's how I want to phrase it. Sorry to cut you off, but the problem is they continued the villain scaling based off of Naruto instead of just going, "That's done. Let's pull it back down." Okay, we are 13 years at the very least. I think Boruto was 13 at the beginning of the series.
Something like that.
We're 13 years past that. We have now had basically a whole generation of peas. We have the new guard coming in. They're learning what it is. Let's just pull everything back down. Mm-hmm. And we might have to overshoot it because you can't do a Zabuza. I mean, you can do a Zabuza thing again. You can't do an Orochimaru thing again. You can't do that. Not because Orochimaru's still there and just fucking kicking it around as a mom now, but because quite literally you couldn't have that kind of threat appear in.
There's no underbelly.
Not even that there's no underbelly. That's the situation where you can't. That's the few situations of where's Naruto and Sasuke because there's no way anyone's threatening them Hidden Leaf anymore.
Well, I want to say cultivation stories run into shit like this all the time because in a cultivation story, you're literally trying to become a god.
Yeah.
Right. And so the most powerful characters in any cultivation novel, literally you never see them because they exist in an entirely different universe and they've transcended.
Yeah.
Right. But most of the time the protagonist's conflict affects them up there. So you have to figure out how to have your little pissant here isolated from that kind of a threat until they are able to grow up. And so there's usually some kind of an event, right? where the descent happens, it fucking shatters everything. Right. And so, before that happens, you establish characters. You establish, like, what they're fucking about. You allow some room for them to grow, so you kind of figure out what their fucking deal is. Mm-hmm. Typically, you figure out a way to give them a mentor that isn't going to have to leave on a moment's notice.
Right.
Like, if we talk about the demon being sealed inside of Naruto, now that's typically what that would become.
Yep,
in
right.
a cultivation novel, is because, like, okay, your dad's been sealed in another thing, your mom's fucking off of nowhere, maybe they got murked. Your society's been shattered because fucking god people showed up. Now you have to figure out how you're going to survive and maybe rekindle whatever the fuck's going on, right?
Right.
You could totally do that, but
yeah. The last thing I'll say about Boruto for me is just the way I had to watch it. I had to say this is Boruto's story and not expect Naruto to be in every episode or expect Naruto to be this huge thing. So every time you showed up on screen, I was like, hey, okay, Naruto, cool.
Sweet, all right.
So that's how I was able to get through as much Boruto as I did. It's like, this is his story. We're focused on him. And anything outside of that is a feature, a special.
Yeah.
You're special.
Thanks. Hey. Yeah. I think that basically is the thing. Is like if Boruto either would have focused solely on Boruto and got away completely from the Naruto generation, that would have been great. Or the fact that we moved so quickly on from, like, a lot of people seem like they really wanted to see those in between years, and I think if we would have got more of that might have cleansed people's palates well enough. But I think we can go another hour about Naruto.
Yeah.
But yeah, so One Piece getting a anime remake
called The One Piece.
The One Piece.
Don't know much
Netflix.
about it. It's coming soon. That's all we know.
We'll probably talk about it more as we find out more.
The treasure is the manga, is the anime we made along the way.
Ha! With that is the end of episode 4.
Woo! Kingz After Dark.
Kingz After Dark. We'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Stay good.
Oh, I thought you were going to announce it.
I'm gay.
All right, sweet. We got that soundbite now. Okay.